Good, beautiful Sunday, everyone. My name is Coach Darwin Rivers, and you are watching the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. We are at episode 157. Today, it's December 3. It's another Sunday of free learning. Our topic for today, that will be at the second part of our program, will be ways to build a successful career. It's something that we really need to look forward to, especially if you're planning to really build your career in the coming years in 2024. Our speaker for today is no other than Mr. Froilan Florendo. He's the CEO of HR Incorporated. And of course, joining me with me today is none other than Mentor Tina Coang. Mentor Tina, please say hello to our audience.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the HR Cafe. I'm so excited that it's already almost the end of the year. However, syempre may free learning pa rin tayo. So I'm so glad that Sir Froilan Florendo will be talking about his will be sharing his tips on how to build a successful career. Kasi over 25 years na po ang experience ni Sir Froy.
No,
Back to you, Coach.
thank you very much for that, Mentor. That's so exciting. Remember, that's the
Mm.
second part of our program. Let's start. Now, here at the HR Cafe, Usapan Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa, we are an online talk show program and free learning program. We aired every Sunday po at 3 p.m. here at the Philippines HR Group and also at the Philippines HR Group YouTube channel. You can watch all of our episodes there as well as the FB page of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. As mentioned, my name is Coach Darwin Rivers. I'm the founder and CEO of the Philippines HR Group. I'm a certified life coach, public speaker, motivational speaker, and HR consultant. And of course, as mentioned earlier, joining with me today is one of our HR Cafe servers, Mentor Tina Coang. Mentor Tina is an operations and HR leader with broad local and overseas experience. She's a general manager of a retail company and soon an F&B company. And she's also well known for online content and blog tinaandmanila.com. She's one of LinkedIn's top 100 Filipinos to follow. Mentor Tina, welcome and isang pagbati uli para sa ating mga audience.
Welcome again. And sa mga taong nanonood, everyone, sa replay, please leave your name, where you are in the Philippines or overseas so we can also give you a shout out on the show. Sige na, mag-Merry Christmas na tayo.
Thank you for that, Mentor Tina. And of course, our other HR Cafe servers, Mentor Rona Del Fiorentino. Mentor Rona has more than 20 years of HR leadership experience. She's a president and CEO of Approach Social Geekers, a public speaker and HR consultant. And like Mentor Tina, she's one of LinkedIn's top 100 Filipinos to follow. Unfortunately, Mentor Rona won't be able to join us this episode, but she will be joining us at the next episode. Also, Mentor Alan Cañete. Mentor Alan is a learning and development practitioner with over 30 years of freelance consulting experience and L&D experience. He's the president and director of Creative Moves and the board of director of the Philippines HR Group. Unfortunately, also, Mentor Alan is out today. He is with the reported training now, and he will be joining us next week. Now, let us start our program. Here at the HR Cafe, we provide timely news and updates. We also impart knowledge and experience that is, of course, value-adding and beneficial to our audience. If there are any hot issues, problems, challenges, we provide them answers and resolutions here in our program through different HR topics, and we provide weekly free training. Ito yung sinasabi namin kanina. This is at the second part of our program. This is through our experts and seasoned guest resource speakers. If there are any new technology, tools, and best practices, we also discuss them here because at the end of the day, we would like to bridge understanding between employers and employee and also provide inspiration and motivation and, of course, advance HR here in the Philippines. Now, for the past 3 years, we've been starting this program with our wow quote for the week. By the way, the HR Cafe is the longest running free online training program here in the Philippines. Bako 4 years na po tayo sa 2024. Kaya maraming salamat po sa patuloy niyong suporta. Our wow quote for the week for today comes from Albert Einstein. At isa to sa pinaka-paborito kong quote galing sa kanya. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. Let me just repeat this. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. This is coming from Albert Einstein. Actually, ano to eh, ito ang aking banner sa aking profile page kasi talagang favorite ko tong quote na to. Better Tina, what's your take on this particular quote? And also, we would like to encourage our audience, our listeners today, please post it at the comment section. Ano pong ibig sabihin ng quote na to para sa inyo? How does this particular quote resonates to you? And please share it to us. State also your name, kung saan po kayo or anong company. Okay? Mentor Tina, Albert Einstein's quote for the day. What's your understanding or how does it resonates to you?
I think there's two ways to judge success in general in the world. And when we come into consciousness, we somehow have to decide which way to go. The first path of success is the more traditional path, which is money, wealth, power,
Mhm.
authority, influence,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
so
Correct.
many people think that if they become billionaires, they're successful. If they're the
Celebrities,
president,
influencers. Oo.
influencers, if you have the most like Kylie Jenner, then you're successful. If you're a president or a mayor in your town, then you're successful. If you are the head of an organization, then you're successful. These are the more traditional ways of success that can be judged by money, diba? Likes, very quantifiable. And so many people will want to aspire to have that type of wealth and influence, which you can see from the type of material goods that you possess, right? And there is a more second type of success, which is always not really paid attention to, which is the impact that you create with other people. Kasi it's highly, like for example na natin ha, a public school teacher is often seen to be not so successful kasi
Correct.
their salaries are only limited. Tapos pagdating ng 60 years old, retire ka na. Right? May
Mm-mm.
party and then after that, wala, right?
Mm-mm.
So, for example, if you're also part of like what we're doing right now, you're not paid for it. You're giving out your free time just to share your knowledge or to coordinate other experts who come and share knowledge. That doesn't, like, so many people have told us now, why not monetize the HR Cafe even more? Right? Because you could. There's also the way of in your company. Hindi siya yung presidente ng company, siguro janitor lang. Pero siya yung ate or kuya ng lahat,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
the type of support. So many people think that the second group is not that successful. But I think like it's up to us then which path we have to take. Because you cannot have one, you cannot have both. You can't be successful too much and really be of value as well. You know what I mean? Because sometimes being successful entails being selfish. You have to be selfish eh. Lalong-lalo na when you're doing business, somebody must win and somebody must lose. You have to be shrewd. If you're making money from somebody else. It's not always a win-win. With people of value, you aspire it to be a win-win or a win-lose sa'yo. So it's a different frame of mind. So, for me lang, whichever way you choose, if you want to be successful in terms of wealth, that's great. You can, if you worked hard to be that way, you can. If you want to be in government, if you want to hold a higher position, magsa-start ka muna as kagawad, counselor, congressman, mayor, governor, senator, president, 'di ba? That's highly possible. That might be your career. But you also have to decide where your value ends, where your value starts and where it ends, because sometimes such type of wealth and material goods entail a compromise of your values. And if you're going to start compromising on values, wag na tayo maging hypocrite. Diretso na tayo sa group A. Paramihan na lang. Magano pa tayo, you'll feel guilty pa that you're doing the wrong thing, di ba? Itodo mo na. But if you want to choose to be a person of value, don't be confident that this is really your choice. Panindigan mo siya, huwag mo siyang kahihiyaan. Because some people, they want to choose to be a man of value, pero sometimes bumibigay eh. You know, when the price is right. Or they feel guilty or they feel bad or they feel insecure. They compare themselves to people way more quote and unquote successful than them. For me, it is much better. Anyway, you will not bring the wealth when you die.
Yeah, man, correct.
Might as well make the most impact while you are still alive. Because at the end of the day, the only person who will benefit from your riches are people who probably won't care for you later on. The entitled kids that you will raise, or the next generation who'll blow it off. But the impact that you make on other people, no, that's priceless. How about you, Coach Darwin?
Ako, Better Tinas, nasabi mo na talaga yung pinaka-gist ng ibig sabihin ng quote na to. There are
Two ways.
two ways of how you can look into success. Pero ako for me is this, each person, meron siyang own definition ng success. Yung success sa akin, maaring iba sa success sa'yo. Kasi pwedeng sa akin ang success, sabi nga ni Mentor Tina, medyo materialistic or may kailangan possession, title, power, and whatnot, di ba? Pero para sa isang tao, ang kanyang for him or for her, ang success sa kanya, mapag-aralan yung kanyang mga anak, mapag-aralan yung
Mm.
kanyang mga kamag-anak or what,
Mm.
or po pwede din na ang success is matapos na niya isang project impactful para sa kanyang community or para sa kanyang company. So each and every one of us has different definition of success. Pero what's more important is, hindi yung sinasabi ni Mentor Tine, yung second kind of success. What value do you bring to the table? What value do you bring to the people? Kasi po pwedeng mayaman ka nga, entitled ka, pwedeng known ka, influencer, napakalaking personality, you wield a lot of power, pero how are you using those things to be of value to the community, be of value to the people around you? Like for example, in HR, or hindi lang HR, pag sa isang kumpanya, yung iba, ang pag tinanong mo, anong trabaho mo? Ay, ako, HR specialist lang po ako or HR analyst lang po ako. Bakit may lang? Kasi yung trabaho
Mm.
mo, ano yan, it affects people. Ano ka nga
Mm.
frontliner ka di ba? You are actually each and every role in the organization is very important. And do not undersell or undervalue yourself, because what you're doing is you're giving value not only to your role, but you're giving value to the people who needs you. So yes, let's focus more on how can we give value into this world. How can we give value as a person to our community, our country, and the people that we live in, and the world that we live in. So that's my take on it. Actually, meron dito.
Marami.
There's another quote. It is aligned as well to a very. This is coming from our speaker, from Froilan. Prosperity is not about what you become, but rather what others become because of you. That's very true. It's not who you are, but how you mold and help people. Ano pa ba? Pero marami tayong Miss Tina, tagos sa puso ang mga salita. Oo naman, laging ganyan si Tina. May pinaghuhugutan lagi si Tina pag nag-explain siya. We also have people coming from Subic, Angelina Gallardo, Mercy, watching from Antipolo. Daisy, hello po. Miss Daisy Galapin. Daday is watching from Paranaque. We have more than 50 people watching us right now. Audrey coming from Albay. Blesilda sa Monte Hamanilia, hello din po. Dea Capangas is watching from Manila. And nako, napakarami tayong manonood ngayon. Maraming salamat po sa patuloy niyong suporta. Let's go to our next topic, Mentor Tina. HR question of the week. Siyempre, December, bigayan ng 13th month pay, bigayan ng Christmas bonuses. May nagtanong sa PHRG, bukod po sa 13th month pay, required po ba ang mga employers na magbigay ng Christmas bonus sa mga empleyado? So is this mandatory? Bukod to sa 13th month pay, kasi anuhin natin na ang 13th month pay po, hindi po siya bonus. Mandated po siya ng government. So mali po yung notion na ang bonus nyo ay yung 13th month pay. Kasi it's already mandated by the government. But yung bonus is really above and beyond what is mandated by the government. But ang question is it really required for companies to give Christmas bonuses? I'll ask Mentor Tina, kasi Mentor Tina, napakaraming tao ang hinahandle niyan sa kanyang mga kumpanya. Mentor Tina, what's your take on this?
I always wonder why people give bonuses on Christmas time and not give bonuses any other month in the year. Right? Kasi pag December, meron ka ng sahod, meron ka pang
13th month pay.
pangregalo, may raffle prizes ka pa from Christmas party, tapos may 13th month pay ka pa. Parang sobrang tad-tad. Pagdating ng January, ubus na.
Correct.
Totoo yun. For most employees, all the money that you give in December, pagdating ng January 2, it's gone.
At
Bought
bukod
by
doon,
Noche Buena.
minsan pa nga bukod sa ubos na baon pa sa utang.
Nabaon ka pa sa utang. That's why, I don't know, for us, I've made it a strict policy that no bonuses are given on December. It's always on other months of the year, is February or March. Kasi doon nag-close yung the previous year. Para pag dating ng Christmas party, humihingi ng tao, sasabihin ng tao ko wala silang pera. So, hindi sila yung pang-uutangan ng tao. Alam mo yon, yung uutangan, yung taong may bonus na binigay. Tapos pagdating ng February, kasi hindi alam ng asawa, tago nila yon. Diba? Kasi it's not typical for people to
Correct.
have bonuses throughout the year. So, wala kasi ako nakuhang bonus, 13th month lang. O sige, ubusin natin. Tapos pagdating ng February, may pera na naman, pero hindi alam ni Mrs. Right? So, to answer the question, legally, it is not mandated for employers to give out Christmas bonuses to employees. It's also not mandated for employers to give you Christmas party or to give you a really nice raffle prize or to give you gift brochures. It's not. It's really talaga 13th month pay lang. And so for many employers, I also warn them, lalong-lalo na sa mga startup, be very careful on when you schedule the bonuses because you think you're helping people. But when they expect it every year, then it's no longer a bonus. It becomes a mandated benefit that people will
Correct.
expect. I've met so many employees, pagdating ng January, magre-resign. Alam mo bakit? Kasi kulang daw yung bonus na nakuha nila. They were expecting X and they got X minus something. Sabi ko, grabe naman, 'di ba? Parang it doesn't, kahit magkano ibigay mo, kasi it's a bonus, it's not a benefit.
Mhm.
Doon sila, kaya ang dami ding tao nagre-resign ng January. So that's the reason why also that we give it on February. Para at least, pag magre-resign, hindi magre-resign ng February, magre-resign pa mga March or April. Gets?
Mhm.
By that time, marami talagang naghahanap ng trabaho. Kasi kang January, kaka-resign lang sa trabaho nila. Pagdating ng April, 3 buwan na walang trabaho, sigurado gusto na talaga magtrabaho. That's just my point. How about you, Coach Darwin?
Yeah, you've actually shared an important
Insights.
insight about it, no? Well, legally tama. There's no such, hindi talaga mandated ang Christmas bonus. Kasi magkaiba ang 13th month pay sa Christmas bonus. Uh, 13th month pay, ito po ay based sa isang batas na nagsasaad na rank and file employees are given an additional 1 month pay for 12 months of service. Now, yung
Mm.
ano, yung Christmas bonus, ano yan? Company discretion yan. And normally, when I say company discretion, depende yan sa maraming factor. Like, revenue for that particular year, ano ba yung productivity nila for that year, ano ba mga milestones or nangyari for that year. So, hindi talaga siya mandated. But kung ibibigay ng kumpanya, thank you. Kung hindi ibibigay, then it's okay kasi hindi naman talaga siya mandated. Mas ako dun ako sa point na kung magbibigay kayo ng bonus, magbigay kayo
Mm.
ng bonus because it's part of your meritocracy program. It's part
Mm.
of your program to really reward employees who are performing, who are high performing. So normally sa amin, ang bonus talaga, binibigay yan at the first quarter of the year kasi binibase namin yung performance from the
Tama.
previous year. 'Di ba? That's part
Mm.
of your annual appraisal. Yung annual
Correct.
appraisal, yan po yung bonus nyo. Kasi it's based on your
Oh.
performance, 'di ba?
Mm.
Kasi
Parang
hindi rin
hindi
naman
'no?
kasi hindi rin
Parang
naman
nagiging
mandated.
hindi.
Kasi hindi rin
Mm.
naman mandated ang annual performance eh. Hindi naman mandated yung annual review. Pero ang ang ginagawa ng mga companies annual review sila ng performance from the previous year, and then based on stack ranking, based on your milestones, your achievements for that previous year, you're being ranked and then you're given your performance bonus. Yan na po yung bonus talaga
Mm.
tinatawag. So tama po, hindi po talaga mandate. Sabi nga ng isang Facebook user natin, bonuses is not mandated by law but rather company discretion. Thank you kapag nabigyan ng bonus. Yun. Tapos that's our answer to the HR question for the week. Let's proceed to our updates in the government. Better Tina for Dole?
Yes, for DOLE, they're saying kung naghahanap daw kayo ng trabaho, the DOLE will have their job fair on the following dates. As you can see, for example, sa NCR, bukas po siya sa Manila Science High School Auditorium. Tapos na siya. But the next one is sa Robinsons Metro East on December 5, Malabon Sports Complex, December 6, along with Vista Mall Taguig, Barangay Poblacion Pateros, and Barangay Santa Ana Pateros. So parang for people, walang excuse talaga ang tao pag hindi makahanap ng trabaho. Huwag kalimutang magdala ng kopya ng updated resume. Huwag mo nang pa-print kay Dole yung resume ninyo. And if you want to find more information, you can go to the Dole offices na malapit sa inyong lugar. Next po. Next slide. Dole will also want to advise everyone. Naku, napakaganda ng writing nila kasi dati kulang ng details. Ngayon marami na. Sabi niya, 13th month pay is mandated to be paid for rank and file employees within the private sector. Nota, underline, regardless of position, designation, or employment status, and irrespective of whether their wages are paid as long as they've worked for at least 1 month during the calendar year. Kasi sa totoo lang, may loophole ang ating batas. So, clarify na talaga niya that it should be given to rank and file employees that are paid even on a piecemeal basis, fixed or guaranteed wage plus commission, even if they have multiple employers, even if they have resigned or were terminated from employment or are on maternity leave and have received salary differential. Let's underline the second paragraph po. Kasi
Marami
so
nakakaalam
many
niyan.
people hindi pasaway. Sabi na, part-time lang yung tao, 4 hours a day lang ang pasok. Or yung tao na to is only working on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Walang 13th month ang mga part-timers. According to this, if you are a rank and file employee, even if you are paid on a piece rate, fixed or guaranteed wage plus commission, you are still mandated to receive 13th month pay. O, 'di ba? Clear. Next po. To calculate the 13th month pay, let us remind everyone that the calculation is add all the total basic salary that you have received for the year. Ang note dyan is when the money that you have received already incorporates your absences and your lates. So, kunyari, hindi ka pumasok ng isang araw in January, dapat mas mababa yung total basic pay receive mo because people are paid on a no work, no pay basis. Now, you add all of that, you divide it by 12 months, then you will get your proportionate 13th month pay. Hindi ibig sabihin po, pag empleyado kayo, buong buwan. Panglabing tatlong buwan na makukuha mo. No, it's proportionate to the money that you have received and on the months that you've also worked. So for example, kung mas kakapasok mo lang sa company, 3 months ka lang nandoon, may 13th month pay ka. Pero smaller than somebody who's worked for one whole year. Kasi nga, divided by 12 talaga siya. The 13th month pay should be paid on or before December 24 and there are no exemptions or deferment to payment. So sa mga taong hindi nabayaran ng 13th month pay, pwede kayong magreklamo sa DOLE pagdating ng New Year. Next po, SSS. Go ahead. Says SSS sets up December 29 deadline for pickup of unclaimed humid cards and branches. One of the best way now daw to get an ID, which is a primary ID, is the SSS humid ID. 'Di ba? And na meron siyang nakalink sa Union Bank. So, pwede ninyong matanggap yung mga benefit pays nyo without opening an actual bank account direct with the bank. So sa mga taong nag-apply at hindi nag-claim, paki-claim po yan hanggang December 29. Kung hindi, sorry na lang po kayo. To check your status kung meron kayo or wala, please log on to your my.sss portal at www.sss.gov.ph. Look for UMID/SSS ID details under the Member Info tab. Back to you, Coach Darwin.
Thank you. Actually, meron pa sa 13th month pay
Go ahead.
pension ng SSS. Sinasabi ng SSS na para to sa mga mga empleyado na nag-resign na. So ito yung mga magulang natin na matagal na nagtrabaho at matagal ng member ng SSS. So may natatanggap po kasi silang 13th month pay coming from SSS. Part po to ng pension nila. So para po sa mga tumatanggap ng pension sa pamamagitan ng PesoNet, ang date of contingency niyo po is from December 1 to 18th. Ito po ay yung mga empleyado na nakakatanggap po sila sa December 1, Biyernes, at para po sa mga date of contingency ng December 18 to the last day of the month, matatanggap niyo po ang inyong SSS pension, 13th month pay, 13th month Christmas bonus sa December 4. Para naman po sa PesoNet banks at checks, yung tumatanggap sa magitan ng PesoNet banks at checks, non-PesoNet banks, ang SSS ay makakapag-ugnayan po sa inyong non-PesoNet bank para po sa crediting ng inyong account. Bago po ito mag-December 4 or on or before December 4. Para naman po sa cheque, magipag-ugnayan lang po kayo sa pinakamalapit na SSS branch sa inyo. Kung doon po kayo tumatanggap ng inyong pension, doon din po kayo magpunta para malaman nyo po kung kailan po yung releasing ng inyong pension bonus para sa Christmas. Also, pag-ibig ay napapaalala, siyempre, bukod sa 13th month pay, mga maraming gastos talaga ngayong Pasko. So baka po mag-isip po kayo, ano pa ba mga pwede nating hiraman or kung meron talaga kayo nakikitang baka kulangin kayo ng gagastosin ngayong holiday season, pwede naman po kayo mag-apply ng multi-purpose loan sa Pag-ibig. Kailangan lang po ay fill up po kayo ng multi-purpose application form, magsabit po kayo ng isang valid ID, tapos proof of income, and also, dapat meron kayo Pag-ibig Loyalty Card Plus or Land Bank Cash Card. So ito po, ay lahat ng ito ay nasa website ng Pag-ibig, that's pagibigfund.gov.ph. Also, pinapaalala din ng Pag-ibig na through your Pag-ibig Bank, Pag-ibig Card, Loyalty Card, At Pag-ibig Loyalty Card Plus, napakarami po mga diskwento ang binibigay at talagang magagamit nyo po ito ngayong Kapaskuhan. 90% discount po on webinar fee from SEDTI, 10% naman po sa shipping fee sa W Express. Meron din po silang 15% at 5% discount sa Enchanted Kingdom. Lalo na ngayong December. Nako, napakarami po mga kumpanya na pupunta ngayon sa Enchanted Kingdom at mga pamilya na pupunta sa Enchanted Kingdom. Meron po kayo 15% para po sa regular day pass at 5% po sa ating mga yung sa lunch area nila, sa food area nila. So, if for more information about all of the discounts given by Pag-ibig, you can also check www.pagibigfund.gov.ph, or you can contact us at pagibig.gov.ph. Also po, from PhilHealth, December 1 po ay ang World AIDS Day. Ito po ay worldwide commemoration ng AIDS Day at ang PhilHealth po ay nagbibigay po ng benepisyo para po sa mga kababayan natin na nagkaroon ng HIV or Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome or HIV virus. Meron po silang 30,000 pesos or 7,500 per quarter na outpatient HIV AIDS treatment o OHAT. Ito po yung ginagamit para po sa mga outpatient pangangailangan ng mga taong may HIV or AIDS. Normally po pwede po itong gamitin sa gamot nila or sa mga laboratories na kinakailangan. Tulad nga po dito sinasabi, mga serbisyong atin ng OHAT package ay consultation, screening ng tuberculosis, pagsubaybay sa mga toxicity or posibilidad ng pagkakaroon ng mga antiretroviral issues, pag-monitor ng pasyente sa kanilang gamutan, at pang iba. Para po malaman ang kompletong benepisyo o listahan ng mga benefits ng Department of Health at PhilHealth para sa HIV treatment hubs, kumontak po kayo sa philhealth.gov.ph. Ang kanilang email ay actioncenter@philhealth.gov.ph. Now po, if meron po kayong mga katanungan, pwede niyo po itong i-post sa ating FB group, sa Philippines HR Group. Meron po tayo niyan sa Facebook. Meron po tayong almost 134, 35 na ba na 1,000 members. As a LinkedIn po, may 40,000 plus members na po tayo. So please join the FB group page in Facebook and LinkedIn. And let me just introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker is Mr. Florendo, Froilan Florendo. He has been an HR practitioner for 25 years. His expertise covers basically all areas of human resource management functions, which include recruitment, employment, compensation and benefits, labor relations, performance management, policy formulation, and training. During his entire 25 years of experience, na-expose po siya in various industries like fast food, hospitality, service and information, and technology industries. Rise po siya from the ranks, coming from rank and file, up to becoming a country HR manager to one of the biggest software companies in the world. After that, he's also a board of director of the Philippine Association of Legitimate Service Contractor. Ito po yung tinatawag na PALSCON. Also, a public relations officer of the board of directors of Asia Committee for Small Businesses, holding VP for Operations position. He's also one of the founding members of Movement for Organizational Justice na tinatagpo ni Attorney Joseph Jimenez, na former Undersecretary ng Labor Department. Isa pong karangalan na maging guest po natin sa ngayon. Ang walang iba si Mr. Froilan Florendo. Siya po ang head ng HR Incorporated na company. Hi, Froilan!
Hi.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Coach Darwin, and or I call you Mentor Darwin and Mentor Tina. No? Thanks again for having me, around in this HR cafe. No, And I think this is my third appearance already, and I'm
Yes,
very thankful
oo.
that
So, suki ka
I
na
will be
namin,
invited all the
Froilan.
time. Yeah,
Thank you
salamat,
always for your
salamat.
support.
Yeah, of
Always
course,
insightful.
full
That's
support
why. That's
yan,
why.
never. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so, so Froilan, ang topic mo ay ways to build a successful career. Maraming nakikinig sa atin ngayon na mga nasa rank and file at mga newly graduates na gusto nilang malaman paano ko ba aayusin ang career ko sa darating na 2024? How can I build a successful career? Una, bago ka magsimula, bakit ba importante ang mag-build ng successful career? Bago mo simulan
Well,
ng iyong presentation.
well, technically, as career people, no, we always aspire for this success, no, and relative yan to the material aspect of being successful
Mm,
in the career that we enter into. No, it's actually aligned to what we have actually were discussing earlier in terms of what we define in reference to success. Kasi sometimes success is premised on, of course, the material aspect, but in some cases, success is what value you give to others. No, parang in the context of success is making others successful. So maganda yung exchanges earlier. Now, in relation to our career, syempre, as young aspirants to building our careers as we want to climb our ladder, syempre we always ponder on what are the returns. We work, but we also have to ponder on what are the returns that we would gain out of the exercise of climbing the career ladder. No? And the presentation that I'll be sharing actually is premised also on my personal experience and journey. As you have noted, no, I rose from the ranks. No, my career technically started as a service crew, and eventually building my own companies. No, over the years that I have been, working, no, for the longest time. So
mm,
ang turning point kasi is that when I was able to reach that point in my career, uh,
mm,
the success aspect that I was aspiring for, I hurdled, no, the employee mindset to becoming an entrepreneur mindset. No, I think Mentor Tina also shares the same, no, because she's also a business person, and whenever she shares, there's always a balance between the perspective of an employee and employer at the same time. So talagang maganda, very very sound ang kanyang mga statements at kanyang mga wisdom because it presents the two aspects all the time. But in
Agree,
reference
agree.
to successful careers, of course, I like to coach people who are actually in this session right now to understand what it takes for you to be able to climb the ladder of success in your career, no, in the career and the
mm.
profession that you choose, no. So
Okay.
yan po. So
And this is regardless of industry, di ba,
oh
Froilan?
yeah, yeah, it cuts across. It cuts across all industry. It's just that, siyempre, it just so happened that my career path is in the human resource management and development. So,
Mm.
kaya nababox in tayo dun. But anyway, the tips that I'll be sharing actually cuts across all industries. And it's just a matter of understanding the key points that I would like to share later on when I present my decks, no?
Okay,
So,
so
yan
we'll
po.
give you the floor, Froilan.
All
Ladies and
right.
gentlemen,
Yeah.
Mr. Froilan Ferrando, and he will be discussing about ways to build a successful career.
Thank you.
And for
Thank you very
anyone
much
with
again.
questions, please feel free to leave it on the comment section. So we'll read it at the end of his presentation. All right, over to you, Sir Froilan.
Okay, so can you turn on to the next slide? No, I'll just give you a brief information of who I am. So again, as shared earlier by mentor Darwin, no? So I've been in the practice or HR practice for the past 25 years, and also a consultant for more than 20 years. In fact, no? So I've been exposed to several facets in HR, and also I am a businessman engaged in service contracting, which is of course what we call the agency staffing. I also run the business in headhunting, and I also do IT support services. No, so also I serve uh, in Pulsecon as a board of director in the same manner for Asia Council for small businesses. So Asia Council for Small Business actually is recognized across Asia, no, in 9 countries. So I operate and represent Philippines, handling the VP for operations. No, so next slide, please. So this is the learning journey that I created for this topic, no? So it starts with, of course, career promotions. How do we understand, no? Career promotions, and then understanding performance management and how it affects your growth in the organization. And then, of course, the attitudinal aspect when you talk of course, building your career, no? And then, of course, these are the elements that could help you grow and rise to the ladder in terms of your professional career in each company that you work for. No, and then I devised an attitude formula, which I will expound later. And then, of course, the last part would be making it happen. So, how do you enable this vision of becoming successful in the career that you have entered into, no, in reference to your profession? So, next slide, ma'am. So, career promotion. So, next slide. I will show you, no, a bit of an understanding of what career promotion. This is the general view, no. So it's a or tentative definition of what career promotion is all about, no. So it refers to the upward movement of an employee from one job to another higher one with increase in salary and status and responsibility. So ibig sabihin yan, as you enter into your career, each time you make that notch higher in terms of your level, then that presents or indicates a promotion. So next slide, ma'am. So why do we want to be promoted? So earning a promotion allows you to take on new responsibilities and complex tasks, that challenge you to grow in your career. So completing higher level tasks can allow you to develop more skills and abilities that you can apply. No? So, and of course, the perks that goes with it when you hold a higher position. So syempre, everyone would aspire for promotion because of course there's always I would say, no, some level of rewards, not only, of course, by the authority that is given to you, but also the material aspect of things when you talk of climbing the career ladder. No? So it always presents an opportunity for you to be motivated because of the material returns when you assume a higher level of responsibility and position in the organization. So next slide. So performance management, no, we have to understand this as well because this is a component wherein employers are able to assess your performance levels. Ma'am, next slide po. So this is actually a general performance management framework. So a performance management system enables a system that would allow our employers, no, our stakeholders, to take a look at you and monitor your employee development. So as you grow with the organization, you have two components in the performance management system. One is the appraisal aspect, and the other one is, of course, the training and development. So as you traverse this framework, it leads to a promotion, granting that, of course, you are able to, of course, perform at par, no, or even beyond par. So meaning to say that normally employers would look at performance levels of at least not satisfactory, but very satisfactory up to, of course, yung sinasabi nating excellent, no? Excellent level of performance. So if you look at this framework, it is hinged on the wages and salaries administration. So when you talk of performance appraisals, it's tied up to your variable income, wherein you would be rewarded for, extras in terms of course, exemplary performance. No, and you're also given on a periodic basis merit increases because this is actually the performance appraisal would be considered as determinants on how you would be able to be entitled to your merit increases monetarily, and of course the variable aspect in terms of the extra pay beyond the usual guaranteed income that you receive. On the other hand, when you get to be trained, no, and then you develop your skills and knowledge, no, this leads to promotions, no. So this, when you talk of promotion, it entails, of course, some increases or increments in your basic pay and all the other monetary emoluments that you're entitled to in terms of the assumed function when you get to be promoted. No? So next slide po. Okay, the standard criteria for promotion. So set standards which shall serve as a basis in determining eligibility of an employee to assure a higher position with a higher degree of responsibility. Common here would be, of course, yung knowledge, skills, and attitude. So these three elements, no, or these three factors are always inert when you talk of performance appraisals. Then, what employers would normally do is to establish the metrics. So ito yung performance standards, or otherwise known as key performance indicators. So it helps the employer to measure your performance level in reference to the job that you handle. So once that is in place, we enable a tool that would allow us to assess, no, and assign a rating or a score in so far as the extent of your performance is concerned. So of course, in the common practice, this is actually what you call a 5-point layer, no, from syempre poor, needs development, satisfactory, then very factory, and then excellent. So there would be a point system or a metric system that is put in place to enable the employers, no, our employers, to measure the level of performance in reference to the jobs that we handle. So very important you understand this, because this would help you understand as well on how you would assure yourself of that potential career growth in the company that you work for. So next slide, ma'am. Okay. So the KSA principle of career growth. So ito, I shared earlier, knowledge, skills, and attitude. So next slide po. Okay. So standard, part of employers, no, part of what our employers do is of course establish yung job knowledge. No? Job knowledge is the understanding of a set of responsibilities specific to a job, as well as the ongoing capacity to stay abreast of the changes in job function. So it's very critical that when you enter or hold a position that is assigned to you by your employer, you have to develop this primarily, because this is hinged on your job description. This is hinged on, of course, your job objective and what you are expected of in terms of the function that you handle in their company. So it cuts across all departments yan. So each department would have definitions of course, the job that they expect of you. So this is actually uh, provided to the employees to enable them to understand what they need, on the other hand, to deliver insofar as what is expected of them in terms of the jobs that they handle. Okay? So next slide po. So next is of course yung ating sinasabing skills, no? The skills. Skills, the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance, no? So dexterity or coordination, especially in the execution of learned physical tasks. Also, it is a learned power of doing something completely. So ito yung ability to do something well. Skills pertains to, what do we possess in terms of our capacities, diba? How we do it, no? Skills pertains to how we do things in reference to the jobs that we do. So again, the skills complement the job knowledge and vice versa. Once the job knowledge is in place, then the skills are determined in order for the person and the position holder to understand thoroughly what he needs to do, ensure the deliverables that is expected of him as an employee. So next slide po. Okay. So attitude naman. This is one of the most important things that any aspirant for promotion, no, should understand. So attitude, it is a feeling or way of thinking that affects a person's behavior. A positive attitude change your attitude, di ba? So meaning to say that of course the attitude plays a role, because of course no matter how good you are in terms of your skills, no matter how adept you are in terms of your knowledge of the job that you handle, if you do not possess the right attitude, then I guess that would pose a hindrance to your aspirations. No? So attitude is a way of positioning the body or its parts an erect attitude. So when you say erect attitude, dapat yan straight tayo. So attitude actually counts a lot, because of course, when you talk of having and possessing the right attitude in so far as anything we do is concerned, then, potentially you will progress. No, not only as an employee, but also someone in the field that you are in, maybe personal or professional for that matter. No? So next slide, please. So, okay, critical attitude makes the difference. No, this is very true, and I'm sure you will appreciate what I will share, no, in this particular section of the presentation. So next slide, ma. Okay. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. When building a successful career, a positive attitude plays a lot of importance. No? You may be good in terms of knowledge and skills, but with a negative attitude, you will never reach the success you aspire for. Wala pong umaasenso na pangit ang ugali. Alam po natin yan. No? Hindi nga maganda yun. Napakagaling mo naman, but you have very poor attitude. I don't think that, you would be able to climb further, no, if you wish to have that position. Parang in the context of saying, like, I have people that I know na sasabihin nila, mas magaling pa sila sa bisor. Di ba? Sa bisor nila or sa manager nila. There is always a reason why those people that they are ranting about is already holding that level or having that position already. So they cannot claim that they have that they are better than anyone else. No, if they lack the positive attitude that is required for them to be able to climb the ladder. You can never be better than a manager as of yet. But if you possess the right attitude, then maybe potentially you can climb the ladder. But there's always a reason why these managers are ahead of you. So that's the storyline behind climbing also a career path that you wish to aspire for. Because attitude plays a lot. Attitude dictates actually the very critical aspect when you talk of building your career in any organization that you wish to work for. So next slide po. Okay, two things, no? Knowledge can be learned, no? Skills and competencies can develop. So ibig sabihin, we can tool our people. All the time yan. We can train, train, train. No? So having a positive attitude towards work and the people you work with shall help in creating a perspective of success. So when you have the right attitude, then complementing that attitude in reference to what you already possess in terms of the trained knowledge, trained skills, and competencies, then it is a potent formula for success. I have quoted Zig Ziglar because I love this very much. This quote that has actually been uh, shared by Zig Ziglar, and I always put that in my heart, despite of course all the things that I have attained in life. I still apply this in how I run my life. No, so attitude, not aptitude, determines altitude. So what does that say? It is the attitude that is a primary component when you talk of course, enabling success for your life and career. No, attitude, no, uh, it is attitude all the time, no, not the level of aptitude that you possess that will determine, of course, yung iyong ma-attain sa iyong career aspirations. Next slide, please. Okay. So this is the attitude formula that I want to share also to everyone. No? So passion, vision, and self-discipline. So very important to. So if people would be able to take down some notes lang and put this in their heart. I'm sure all of those aspirants here, whether you're in HR or in other fields or whatever departments or function, this would help you a lot also in putting a mindset and the right attitude towards building your career, no? In the employers that you actually work for, no? So next slide po. So, passion is the beginning of success. Oh, famous yan na sinabi ni Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sure you have read somehow yung Rich Dad Poor Dad, or he's also the author of a book that I read, why uh why A students work for C students. It's nice. It's a nice book. Maybe you want to explore that, no? Kasi I also was able to imbibe some principles in that particular book that Robert Kiyosaki has written, no? So anyway, uh in this particular quote, no, yung passion is the beginning of success, no? Know your passion and enter into a career that is aligned to that passion. Knowing your passion will determine the best profession that suits you. Enter into something you love and enjoy doing, and it is most likely that you will be able to attain the career growth. So, ibig sabihin, it is very important that you identify what strikes your heart. Normally, when it strikes our heart, then it is something that you will pursue. Para lang din pong pag-ibig yan. Kung meron tayong pag-ibig sa ating mga jowa, meron din tayong pag-ibig sa ating mga karir. I don't have to share that particular principle because actually Coach D, no, already has actually projected that. No, I know that he's very passionate about HR, and that is why we are here where we are right now. He was able to build a very, very huge community. And I admire him. He's very young and he's full of talent and of course wisdom. And even though that I am already, probably 20 years ahead of him in terms of age, I still look up to him. So, yan, idol ko rin po yan sa larangan ng HR. So going back po, he possesses and has actually identified the passion that he loves, no? And that's the reason why he is where he is right now. Kasama rin po yan when you talk of course, building a career for you and attaining the career success that you wish to attain somewhere in the near or far future po. So next slide po. Okay, this one, I learned this several years, 20, 30 years ago when I was still younger. So ito yung life in synergy eh. So to think is to create. So visualization allows us to create a vision in our minds that guide us into achieving the picture we have created in our thoughts. This is also aligned yung kay Rhonda Byrne in terms of law of attraction, which I also practice no, in my heart. No? It always starts with a vision. No? So having that vision, having that passion combined with the vision, then you already know where you want to be. Just follow that, and of course, complemented by efforts, complemented by work, hard work, and of course dedication to whatever you are in terms of the jobs that you handle. I'm sure your success is imminent. It will, and it will happen as long as you do not remove the component of having that positive attitude. So next slide po. So you should have a picture in mind of what you want to build in the future, a vivid visualization of the career you want to build. No? So having a vision of where you want your career to be, you will be able to create that path that will lead you towards the growth you aspire for. So of course, if you don't have that vision, you will not be able to determine where you want to be. So if you would not have that clear, vivid imagination of what you want to attract and what you want to attain next probably 5, 10, 15 years down the line, then of course your career would be in array, so to speak. No, there is this whenever I conduct a strategic planning, no, merong three aspects that I share to my clients. Eh. Number one, di ba? Vision without action is daydreaming. Second to that, action without vision is wandering. No? But vision with action is destiny. So again, it is also aligned when you talk of building your career, having that vision of where you want to be in terms of your, of course, career aspirations. You have to set that, and that would set forth your journey towards, of course, the successful career that you want to build for yourself. Next slide, please. Okay. Oh, meron na tayong attitude. Then I have to, of course, fuse this as well. We have to inject this also in our hearts. No? So understanding self-discipline. So we have already knowledge, we have skills, we have the attitude, and of course the visualization aspect. Then you have to put this as part of the ingredient as well when you talk of building your career. So if next slide, please, po. So understanding discipline, very key, very key component din ito no, to complement what I have already shared. No? So let's just try to read what is actually written, no? The denotative meaning of self-discipline. So self-discipline is the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. No? So this is synonymous to self-control. Next slide, please po. Okay. So, what is the essence of self-discipline? Without self-discipline, success is impossible. Period. Non-negotiable yan, sabi ni Lou Holtz. So, it's very important that we have to put this in our hearts. Because this will complement, of course, in enabling what you want to happen in your future career. No? The promotion that you aspire for, the of course the level that you wish to attain in the career ladder that you have set forth. No? So this self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. Simply, self-discipline enables you to think first and act afterwards. Diba? Napoleon Hill yan. So very valuable. Again, I captured these quotations because these are very critical to the success that you wish to aspire for. No? Even in life, not only in the careers that you are in, no? Even in life. No? So, syempre, we have our professional life. We also have our personal lives. Putting this in perspective, putting this in mind and also in our hearts, then we can attain professional success as well as personal success. No? Whatever you define, no, insofar as what your success is all about. So next slide, please. Essence of discipline in continuation, self-discipline dictates control and restraint. No? Learn to control and restrain ourselves in doing something that is contrary to what is right. So excellence is a journey. Discipline is the vehicle. There can be no excellence without discipline. So relative lahat yan. All successful people, in my experience also as a successful businessman and a career person, discipline is a key and vital ingredient when we want to attain something for our lives. So yung career success that you aspire for, apply discipline, yeah, and then strengthen the attitude. No, always bear in mind the positive attitude that we need, and also of course continuous learning. No, yung job knowledge and of course the skills you have to always uh, ensure no that is progressive. Sabi nga ni Stephen Covey, di ba? Sharpening the saw. And also I'd like to quote no Albert Einstein. Sabi niya, when you stop learning, you start dying. Yan. Idol ko rin yan, katulad ni Coach D. No? So next slide po. Success. Ito na, making it happen. So I've already shared, the elements and then, of course, the attributes that we need to understand now to make it happen. And this is how winners do it. No? So next slide, please. So, success in one's career is solely dependent on the person who owns it. Sabi nga ng Gestalt psychology, di ba? We are all responsible for the process of our being. In simpler terms, no? Life is how we make it. So, we do not owe anyone else when you want success to be attained, no? It is controlled by us. How we do it insofar as how we wish to progress is premised on how we take action. We cannot be promoted if we do not act accordingly, of course, to what is expected of us in terms of the K, S, A, and also the D. Kisad na yun. K, S, A, and then, of course, more importantly is the discipline. So, next slide po. So, resiliency. Don't easily give up on challenges that come your way. Setbacks are always there. No? Minor setbacks can always be turned around into major successes. Hindi yung minor stumble, then you give up. Doesn't work that way. There is no smooth ride. It would always be a rough ride. Sabi ni, sino ba to? Meron si Winston Churchill, di ba? Si Winston Churchill, sabi niya, di ba, no matter how difficult the journey is, at the end of the day, di ba, at the end of the journey, you will see the success you aspire for. So, get to work, keep working, don't stop, and then eventually you reach the level of success that you wish to attain. There are a lot of quitters that I have encountered being an employer as well. Sayang, the momentum is there, but just because of course, a small challenge, when their attention are being called, then they take it against their employers and then they quit. And that is not the right way to view things when you are actually building a career in an employer. Resiliency is very important. Doesn't follow that all the time that you are doing the right thing. But you have to remember that you have to do the thing right all the time. Okay? Next slide po. Patience. There are no such thing as instant career growth. Hindi yung pagpasok mo lang, 1 month pa lang, promoted ka na. Climbing the career ladder requires time before you would be able to reach the top and reap the greatest rewards you have envisioned, no, for your, of course, professional life. No? Rolling stones gather no moss. That's a powerful line that was shared to me by my mom. Pag ikaw ay job hopper, then wala kang mararating. It has to be understood by a majority that, climbing the ladder of success does not entail someone to jump from one employer to the next. Yung sinasabi nilang shape up or ship out. Yung ship out should not be an option. Sabi nga, resiliency has to be a key component also. Do not easily give up. Because once it is seen by your employer, then they will continue to, of course, believe in you. mahirap yung maramdamin tayo. We should not be emotional. We should be strong in terms of our commitment to the jobs that we do so that our performance will be always at par or even beyond par as expected of our employers and stakeholders. So next slide po. So, most importantly, one must have a positive attitude on it. This is a reiteration, no? A reiteration of what I've already shared earlier, no? So, uh, think, do, and be positive. Think positive, do positive, be positive. Always have an optimistic perspective. If you believe you can, definitely you will. But if you believe that you can, definitely you won't. No? It is all the time that people fail because they do not believe that they can. Sa Tagalog, meron tayong kasabihan eh. Kapag gusto, 'di ba, may paraan. Pag ayaw, may dahilan. So we have to keep on pushing forward, have that positive mindset, be resilient, have that discipline in your heart. Definitely, you will go a long way in terms of the career path that you are in right now. Again, no, I shared earlier, it cuts across all industries. This thing that I share to you cuts across all industries. This not only pertains to HR, but also to the other functions that are actually inert in any organizational operations. Okay? So, next slide po. Okay. Oh, ito. Galing kay Bill Cosby ito. To be successful, your desire to succeed should be greater than your fear of failure. And the fear of failure, when that sets in our hearts and minds, you will never, never become successful in any career that you will enter into. Remember that success, no, your desire to succeed, shall always supersede your fear of failing. Non-negotiable yan. Now, if you always look at the failures, or if you look at the reasons for you to fail, then definitely you're magnifying that, right? You try to magnify what is success. The efforts in calculating success is equally the same when you do your calculated risk. So why not focus your energies on calculating your success rather than calculating the possible failure that you may encounter in any journey that you enter into? Very important again, no? So next slide po. Oh, yun pala. Tapos na. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa lahat ng mga nakinig. So if you have any questions, now feel free to share it right now, and I'll give you the best insights that I can in reference to whatever questions you wish to be enlightened about. So yan po, diyan po nagwawakas ang aking presentation. Salamat po ng marami, Coach D and Coach T. No? So yan po.
All right, Sir Froy. Very insightful presentation and a good reminder to all. So let me just start off the Q&A by asking a question lang. Kasi 'di ba karamihan ng mga nanonood sa atin are employees. And sometimes the common saying is if you're no longer happy with your job, you should change your job. You should resign and find a better path for you. But as a business owner, the moment you resign, quote and unquote, your business shuts down. So, by nature, owning a business is like getting married. You can't just quit no matter what, when things get tough. So, having done both, where do you draw the line of where do you decide na, oh, this is really not working for me and cut your losses versus
Uh,
persevering? Because sometimes there are people who's been stuck in a job for 20, 30 years in the hopes of improvement, but they never improve. What are your thoughts?
okay. Number one, when you talk of happiness, happiness is always
Mm,
a choice. 'Di ba? So, when you talk of happiness is a choice, it's just a matter of how you look at things,
mm,
regardless of the challenges that you are actually encountering in your
mm,
jobs. People
mm,
live not because of the job. People live because of
mm,
their bosses. Now, you have to change the way you look at your mindset, the way you look at your bosses and create it, no? It's very difficult, but you can actually turn it around and, use it as a motivation. So, two perspectives. That's the employee perspective, no? On the business
Mm-mm.
side, ma'am, alam mo na yan truly. No matter what challenges we have, then we have to be extra resilient, no? I've gone through what 3 years of pandemic. I have deployment of about 2,000 people, and right now we are struggling in 600, but we're growing. I could have decided to stop the operations and cut my losses at the time of pandemic, but
Yes.
I did not. I
Mm,
chose to move forward, despite a halt in
mm,
the retail industry to which I actually specialize in. But I had some IT also deployments that IT and health professionals that I was deploying. So sabi ko, you know, sabi nga, minor setback will not be something that you could say that is conclusive already. When the
correct. You don't
money is,
know.
you always hope for the best eh. You always hope for
Mm,
that. But if you
mm,
easily give up, especially us businessmen, diba? Then
mm,
of course the story ends right away. I could have,
mm.
just be, running around, sitting in here, doing nothing. But
Inom
again,
ng kape.
diba, after 3 years, ma'am, of being patient, of being resilient, I was able to hurdle it. Actually, in reality, the inventory of my staff deployment when the pandemic started dropped to about 400. Now I grew
Mm.
by 200. So somehow positive progress. So the matter of course, on the matter of course, those employees, no, you have to find a way to motivate yourself. Sometimes we
Mm,
only leave because we become too emotional of things.
mm.
Trabaho
Tama,
lang,
tama 'yun. Oo, tama
di
'yun.
ba? Again, it's gonna be your choice eh. You have to make sure
Mm,
that, is this boss be the one to push me out of something that I love doing? I guess not.
mm,
But if you give up,
mm.
then of course the failure did not come from my end. The cessation of the career that you have actually began and you love did not end from the employer, but ended from you because you decided to quit. And as a
Yeah.
person that has, as a person that rose from the ranks, rags to riches, in my case, I started as a service crew. So sabi ko, you have to build that bigger aspiration for yourself eh.
Mm,
Hindi ko iniisip na, nakakainis ito, nakakainis yan. If you look at those and magnify those things na nakakainis, you'll end up losing in the battle. Life is
right.
unfair. It is a given.
Mm,
'Di ba?
mm.
Sabi nga natin, danger is for real, right?
Right.
Danger is
Mm.
for real, fear is a choice. Should I move forward or not? 'Di ba? And that's the way to do it. In the same manner, in all the vision that you have created for your lives, even Coach D and you, Ma'am
Mm.
T, no? You know what I'm talking about. Because when
Yeah.
you are a quitter, then you have no chance of, climbing up the ladder.
I
Yung
think you gave a
aspirations mo in
very
life,
good
'di ba?
insight kanina when you said, kasi I also interview. So one of the questions I asked is why did you resign in your previous company? So beyond the greener pastures, which is not totally true, people will say kasi it's because of their bosses, because of management
Yeah.
changes. And most resignations are from a moment of extreme anger and irritation. Karamihan ng tao, pag nagre-resign, hindi nag-iisip. Pag napikon, on the spot, "Sir, kung hindi mo ibigay sa akin 'to, magre-resign ako." Tapos yung isa parang,
Ah,
"Oh, sige, nasaan yung papel?" Eto naman, "Oh, sige ito, here you go."
ah.
Then they
Kaya nga,
resign,
ma'am,
right?
to complement that, ma'am, both parties,
Mm,
employer, employee, no,
right.
emotions cloud our judgment,
That's true.
'di ba?
Yes.
So, if we decide, 'di ba, when we are angry, then chances
Correct.
are that you did not make the right decision. So it's very,
Yeah, kasi oo.
yung
Balik
temperament mo has to be
oo.
put in check all the time eh.
Babalikan ko lang yung ating hot topic for the week. Mga
Sige, ma'am.
breakups, 'di ba? When you break up with somebody na 11 years na kayo, dapat it should come from a moment of rational thought. If
Mm.
talagang
Yes, yes.
manloloko yung lalaki, hindi kayo magpapakasal, i-break mo na, 'di ba? Pero hindi puwede yung
Agree.
'pag napikon ka tsaka ka magbe-break, 'di ba? Kasi may
Yeah,
rason
yeah.
yung breakup na yun, eh, 'di ba, Coach Darwin?
Yes, yes. I have a question to you from Froilan. In
Sige,
terms
go, go.
of networking, what is the importance of networking in terms of creating or building a successful career, because a lot of employees normally they just network within their departments or within their companies, and they need to understand that networking outside the four walls of their companies would actually be a good stepping stone in also building up their career. What's your take on it?
Okay. I share you a very broad perspective of what networking for me is, no? Sabi nila, doon sa, of course, naririnig ko ng mga good speakers also. If you are not networking, then you are not working. So what does that mean? You have to build a network of course, contacts for business. It becomes viable for you because when you are known to a majority of people that you wish to serve, then chances are you would be able to build your business. No, this is the same case when you talk of social media. That's a power of social. You become viral. Networking is basic foundation. In the same manner, when you are building your career, so granting that you wish to move forward, no, do not move forward after resigning. Move forward when someone that you have networked in the past touches base with you and dangles something, dangles a carrot. Iba po yung nag-resign at naghanap ng trabaho sa mga kaibigan at iba rin yung network mo para bigyan ng trabaho dahil alam nilang kapita-pitagan ka. So, yan yung sa career naman aspect, di ba? So, very important yan, sir. I'm sure you understand me because you are one of course, my staunch, sabihin natin,
Siya yung ating Kevin
reference.
Bacon
Oo,
natin.
you
Yes.
are our beacon
Coach
of
Dar is
success.
our
Ika nga.
Kevin Bacon. Yung six
Yeah,
degrees of
no.
separation in the HR
Yes,
field. Pag
correct. So,
sa tingin kay Coach Darwin, lahat kilala siya galing sa kanya. It's just a matter of sino, di ba?
ganyan lang yan, no, si Coach D, oh, shift
Oo.
lang yan. Pag switch yan ganyan,
Oo.
walang lull yan sa career niya. Marami
That's true.
nakahintay yan. And that is the networking side of things when you talk of course, being pirated. Hindi
Mm,
maganda yung nag-resign bago nag-apply. Maganda yung
mm,
kinakatok ka bago ka
mm.
nag-resign. May tinanggap ka na. Di ba, sir? Tama ba? Am
What
I
are your
making sense?
tips, Sir Froy, with networking? 'Di ba? Yung tingin mo kasi you've networked and you've been networked
Yeah.
too. What are
Yeah.
your tips to those who are watching us
Well,
when it
always
comes to networking?
you do it because of course it's very important. You cannot confine yourselves in a few circles. You have to be
Mm,
visible because that visibility, as long as that visibility presents a positive image of you, then
mm,
there would be a lot of doors that are waiting for you.
mm,
100% yan, ma'am. 100%. Because I've
mm,
been there, no? Well, there are instances that I resigned from the past, no? Because of course, shit happens. Oh, I'm sorry. It happens to the
mm,
best of us, di ba?
mm, mm,
But then
mm,
again, when you reach that point that everybody knows you, oh, hello, Froilan, are you open, di ba? Those are the
mm.
nicest. Those are actually musical words. If you term it right, no? Are you open? Are you exploring? That means that you have presented yourself in a network full of opportunities. So yan po. I
Coach
mean, I hope I was able to answer your question, Coach D.
Coach Darwin, in your experience, how many people PM you asking for help to source their HR? Kasi sa akin,
Ala.
regularly, I have people messaging me on different salary ranges, on different number
Mm-mm.
of employees, asking kung may mapapakilala daw ako para sa company nila. And me, di ba, parang I don't know, Coach Rai, I'm assuming that you get more of those.
I, I get
Marami.
I get those and also those who are looking for work and whatnot. And I will always tell them to reach into the community kasi mas maganda kung sa
Ah,
community ka sa community ka mag-reach out kasi ako I always believe that one, no one has a monopoly of knowledge, and two,
okay.
uh, uh, more people takes better than just one person, 'di ba? So, mas maraming input na ibigay, mas matutulungan ka. Pero in terms of networking talaga, I positively agree with Mr. Froilan. We need to understand that our world does not only revolve within the confines of our department, within the confines of our company, but your future, the future you, is actually through the different networks that you create outside your organization.
Mm.
That's something that you need to look into.
Just a
Tapos,
trivia lang,
mm-mm,
ang
mm-mm,
ang lowest ko 'pag naghahanap ng HR mga 30. Ang pinakamataas ko was 400. Yung average ko is 80 to 100,000. So, for people who are saying na medyo mababa din yung sahod, that's not true. Pero may I remind, when they go to me kasi, they're assuming that the HR knows operations as well. Gets
correct,
nyo?
correct.
It's not a rank and file position, okay? You're handling a team of people and you're managing the HR of that particular company. But it's kind of cool though na 30 to 400,000 yung salary range.
Mm-mm.
Nang lumalapit sa akin. Go,
Well,
Coach
it
Lars.
Froilan,
already presents yung premium,
mm-mm,
di ba, that you possess.
Yeah.
So, para
agree,
Hindi, I'm
agree.
sure some people get
credentials
paid
are concerned, di ba?
more than
Mm-mm,
400. But I'm just saying the highest that
Yeah.
I have so far is 400,000. Per month
agree.
per month hindi per year yan
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fred,
Sir
there's a
Froy, what
question
did you?
here.
Go.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Sige pa.
may nag-post a question
Read.
eh. I think we will pick your mind on this because it's an HR question also. Meron daw sila experience na nag-resign sa employee effective, nagpasa na resignation, in-accept, pero bumalik at tinanggap nila uli dahil naawa daw sila. Ang nangyari, after nag-resign, after bumalik, after tinanggap, nag-resign uli after 2 weeks. Ang tinatanong nitong HR natin is, dapat ba yung dahil nga nag-resign si employee agad-agad at nagpasa ng resignation about agad-agad at bumabalik gayon, kailangan ba siyang tanggapin uli or i-block na lang sa kumpanya nila? What's
Interesting,
your
no?
take on this?
Okay. Ibe-breakdown natin yan. Sir, number one, not all the time 100%, no, that we are sure with what the other party is saying. In particular to the employee
Correct.
resigning, di ba? So, hindi yan magsasabi ng totoo. So, ibig sabihin, if
Mm.
you are on the side of the employer, syempre, huwag ka maniwala. Right?
Mm.
Because hindi totoo yan. May reason yan why bumalik. Naisip niya siguro, maiipit yung kanyang 13 month,
Final 13th month
bumalik.
pay, December, di ba? Oo.
Alam ni Ma'am Tina yan, marami yan. Normally, pagtanggap ng 13-month pay, nagre-resign. Mataas ang attrition natin pag January. Di ba?
Mm.
So, what I'm saying is that, syempre, if I am the person, if I am the employer, pag bumalik, no na, once I sign accepted, then it's actually cast a stone. You do not, okay, sige, wag natin, di ba? Because that person will take advantage of you. Okay, I'll share you an insight that happened in my company. Inilaban ng aking dalawang manager. Balik natin, sir. Kasi nag-release ako ng bonus. So, balik natin, sir, hindi yan naalis. O sige, di pinagbigyan ko. I empower my managers to make decisions. But apparently, the reality of things, that this person na ibinroker sa akin, eventually left after getting the bonus. After getting the bonus, nag-resign after 60 days. So,
Mm.
if you look at the entirety of things, then it only indicates that the motivation of the person to come back is, of course, for his or her bonus. Kasi I release bonus mga March eh. So, what am I saying? Now, going back to the question. The answer is no. Do not be emotional. Huwag kang maawa. Huwag kang maawa because if you are to protect the best interest of your company or your employer, huwag kang maawa. Because pag naawa ka dyan, then again, in the hinging it to what I shared earlier, our emotions cloud our judgment. Di ba? When that happens, then you lose sight of what is the best decision for that particular situation. Dito sa nangyari, di ba? Bumalik, pinagbigyan, naawa, nung nakuha, umalis. So at the end of the day, we are at the losing end. So your discernment has to be high. So the question, if you ask me personally, as a businessman or probably as a nature person, no. When you tendered your resignation, when an employee tendered his or her resignation, there was a sound judgment already that was created. It is a well thought of decision when he triggered
Agree.
that tendering of the resignation letter. So bakit ko, 'di ba? Pag ni-retract yan, meron ng ibang motivation yan. That's why
Yeah.
when the person resigned, eh, wala naman ng value. Ang reality naman, nobody is indispensable. Tanggapin mo na. Sign, sign and receive, then go. Di ba? We part ways. That's my take on the matter. I
Agree.
may be, my insights may not be aligned to the others watching it, but I come from a perspective, of course, experience and realities that I've encountered being not only as an HR practitioner, but also an employer, as a businessman. Mahirap po. Kasi nga sabi ko, not all the time, 100% na sasabihin ng employee ay totoo. Merong
I've
gusto
had
yan. You had to share.
I'd like to emphasize a few things kasi
Yeah.
first, when a person resigns, usually what they write on their resignation letter or what they tell others, that's not usually the real reason. There's always another reason. But that's okay, right? I mean, it's SOP. Every single employee. Isip kasi, nagre-resign sila kasi usually may nag-offer sa kanila ng mas maganda sa iba. But they're not gonna say that. They're gonna tell you A, B, C, D. Okay? But that's fine. The second one is, I think one of the best things an employer can do is to create a moat in their business that it makes the company so well run, that has so good and healthy of a culture that anyone who resigns will experience a significant culture shock when they go to another company
Yeah.
that they'd want to return back to you again. Ulitin ko ha.
Yeah.
One of
Ah,
the best ways for a company to run itself is to run it so well that it's so different from anybody else. Kasi when a person resigns, they always think about only usually one thing: compensation, reward, benefits. Ay, mas mataas ang sahod sa kabila. Ay, mas mataas ang benefits sa kabila. Ay, ang daming leave sa kabila. Ay, ganito, they promise me XYZ, they're gonna promote me. And then when they get there, they realize that all these things are either promises that hold no water or comes at a higher cost than what they're willing to pay for. Example,
yeah.
mataas nga sweldo, pero wala ka ng weekends. 24/7 dapat on call. Tapos yung boss mo napaka-toxic. Lahat ng mga
Ah,
kasama mo sa trabaho, chismosa. 'Di ba? Parang backstabbers. It's true. It's really
agree,
true.
agree.
I've
Agree,
had
ma'am. I agree.
employees who resigned with me, moved somewhere else, and then first week pa nila, ang pinahandle sa kanila, $7 cases. Pinapunta doon para lang mag-address ng $7 cases. And we're like, wait, what's happening? And then pagdating sa store, ano pala lahat magnanakaw. Cashier magnanakaw, gas attendant magnanakaw. Kasi cash business gas station. And they're like, oh my gosh, everybody in the company steals. Like, everybody. O syempre naman sila, takot na takot sila. Kasi dun sa amin, wala naman magnanakaw. You can leave
Ah,
your bag in your chair, nobody takes it.
yeah.
Whereas in the
Mm.
new company, everyone steals, you know? It's really like a
Ah,
culture. Dapat magnanakaw ka. Pag magnanakaw ka, ang dami mo pwedeng nakawin. Kasi cash business talaga siya. Gas stations, ang sarap talaga
yeah.
magtrabaho doon pag magnanakaw ka. So, create that moat, right? And then when they
Yeah.
return to you, it's like the prodigal son. You have to see first if that person actually had value. Kasi may ibang tao talaga, pag magre-resign na, mag-aawol na, bastos. Di ba? Akala kung sino. Pag mga ganon, syempre hindi mo na, di ba, magta 30 days rendering, tapos pa
Eh,
eche-eche pa. Kakaasar, di ba? Aalis ka na
tapos
eh. Tapos pinapahirapan mo pa
papasok
ako.
ng 1 hour late.
Tapos yung
Hmm.
sick leave na kunwari na walang
Ah,
medical, o yung mga 1 week
ah,
na yan, sakit. I mean, sobrang sanay na ako. Tapos pagbalik, kung maayos nagpaalam, nagre-render ng maayos, 30, 60, 90 days, tapos sobrang professional, pwede niyong pag-isipan. Pag bastos, wag na. 'Di ba? Kasi yung, so many people, I don't know what happened, pag-submit ng resignation, parang akala mo hindi na babalik. Parang akala mo hindi na nila ikaw kailangan. Tapos after that, 1 year later, 30 days later, magiging na COE o de walang problema,
I
'di ba?
feel you, ma'am. I feel you
'Di
very much,
ba?
Ma'am Ki.
Mas maraming
I feel you,
utang.
yeah.
Pag-alis, lahat ng tao, "Ma'am, paano na yung final pay? Bakit?" "Kasi inutangan ko, eh." Lahat yan, oh my gosh, lahat pala ng mga kasama pinag-uutangan. I don't understand what goes into their head. Di ba nila
Sad reality,
pinag-iisipan
ma'am.
yon?
Sad reality sa atin 'yan.
Yung ways to build a successful career. Don't burn your bridges.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah,
Kasi ang
agree,
tao,
agree,
ang bait-bait habang hindi pa nagre-resign. Pagdating sa rendering, akala mo parang hindi binabayaran. I'm not
Agree,
kidding.
agree.
Like, di ba binabayaran yung mga yan? Every day ka nagre-render, binabayaran ka. Pero akala mo
uh,
for slavery, ay ma'am talaga for my own mental health. Di ba? Eh dati naman 10 years ka na sa akin for your own mental health. Tapos pagdating ng 30 days, di ka pa makatiis. Right?
akala ko lang akala ko nag-iisa ako, ma'am, meron kaya
'Di ba? Hindi,
natatawa ako. Yeah,
don't
I'm
burn your
experiencing the same.
bridges.
Yeah,
Agree,
yeah,
The
agree.
agree,
last 30
agree.
days talaga, like breakup,
Yeah,
'di ba? Pwede naman
uh,
gracious yung breakup eh. Pag gracious yung breakup, kahit anong ginawa mo
uh,
habang kayo pa lang, okay lang, all is
mm,
forgiven.
yeah.
Yung alam mo yun, para pag maghanap ng bago, kamusta tong tao na 'to? Alam mo, okay siya. Kasi kahit na may problems kami, it's just because we're not compatible, 'di ba? Kaysa pag
Yeah,
kunyari, pag pabastos-bastos ka sa breakup mo, ay naku,
oo.
ang lakas talaga ng negative feedback.
Mhm.
Bitter 'yun, bitter, ma'am, pag may
Sobrang
negative.
bitter. Oo, kasi talagang aapoy ka, 'di ba? Parang alam mo naman yung rules.
Yeah.
Pagdating ng 30-day resignation, ma'am, bukas na yung aking eroplano.
Ah,
Hala,
ah.
talaga? Lie. Magsisinungaling ka pa. Sabihin mo na lang yung totoo, di ba?
Agree, agree. I
Oo.
feel you. I feel you,
Kasi
ma'am. I
nga,
feel
'di
you
ba,
very much.
that one day kasi ito lang, ito ways to build you a successful career. That one day when you lie
Yeah,
is the day that everybody remembers. They don't
yeah,
remember your how many years of tenure. They will
yeah,
remember how you left them. I'm not
yeah,
kidding. And then ito lang, karamihan ng tao will still contact their ex-employer for
yeah.
whatever reason. Make it sure when you leave in a way na hindi ka mahihiya na mag-message.
Uh,
'Di ba? Kasi
agree. Ah,
nahihiya talaga sila.
yeah.
Ito,
Very well
may mga
said, madam. Very well said.
sabi ni HR
Yeah.
Patricia, yung gigil na gigil ka pero kailangan mong kumalma. Ay, mga HR, dapat kumalma din kayo. Bawal
Chill,
mapikon. I'm
chill.
not
Chill,
kidding.
chill lang yan. Oo.
Oo,
I,
kasi
I,
Chill,
pag
chill lang.
napikon ka,
mhm.
go coach.
Mm,
I have a question kay Fern. Kasi yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina about career success, we look into it as a internal factor. It's a responsibility of the individual to build, to take steps and build uh, certain behavior and actions for him or her to be successful. So internal factor. How about the external factor wherein the company needs to create a culture where everyone can be successful or
Mm,
everyone can actually be successful in his or her chosen field. Kumbaga, si company isip niya, paano ko ba i-mold itong taong to be high performing or paano ko ba i-mold itong taong to be promoted into the next level role. So what is the importance of a company culture in terms of playing into career success of an individual? That's my question. So I would
okay.
like you to highlight na it's important for companies to also build a
Yeah.
culture that supports the career growth of a person.
Agree on that, sir, no? Coach D, no? Very, very much true what you're talking about when you talk of culture. Kasi if you build a culture of course, trust, no? Positive attitude and discipline in your organization, then it doesn't end there. You are actually preparing him for the next chapter in his career. It may
Mm.
not be within your organization, but in the next chapter in his life when he transfers to a new job, diba? Or a new company. Remember, the culture that we build in our organization is the one that is being developed by employees. They imbibe that. Kasi 'di ba ang second house nila, ang second family is actually our companies. They work for us,
mm,
then you build the culture. If there is a culture of distrust, he will bring that over to the next. But okay, look at this. If your company is known to have that right culture in terms of running your business, they would be most likely happy to get people from you. That is the downside because piracy would come into play. But for me, if there would be someone taken from my company going to another company, he or she will bring the legacy that I have taught him, coming from the
Mm,
culture and the discipline that I have imbibed during his lifespan or career life in my company. So it's very important that you have to build that as well. A culture that is very positive, no, will actually be emanated elsewhere. Say for example, kung pangit ang HR network or pangit ang Polyserve Philippines, 'di ba? Hindi sila kukuha ng tao sa atin because they know the culture that I am imbibing in the people that I handle are also not good. But if they know that this was trained by Froilan Florendo of HR Network and Polyserve, then by all means, they would be, they would be very,
mm,
very much excited to get people from you. The good side is
mm,
that you're giving your employees the opportunity to be hired elsewhere. The downside is you will lose people naman. But for me,
mm,
it works both ways because I don't own my employees. Our relationship is temporary. It is only a chapter in each of our lives. It may be 5, 10, or 20 years, but it ends somewhere. Diba? Somewhere, sometime in the near or far future. But the good thing there is that if the culture that you have actually shown in the marketplace is something positive, then no, it will be known elsewhere. And that is hints in networking also. The entire network that knows me knows how I train people, such that when they get people from me, it's a welcome thing from us. And they even go to the point of asking permission. Sir, pwede ko bang kunin si, Mr. Juan de la Cruz of your company? And that is something very, something that would make me proud. It is painful, but I would say that it is something that I could consider as a grateful situation as well, because I have built someone that has become successful, and then he was taken in by a better company, probably bigger, di ba? Wherein he can bring the legacy that I have given him during his employee life in my organization, leading to the next chapter of his career life. I hope I was able to answer your question, Coach D.
Just to
Yes.
add on to that,
Mm,
what would, 'di ba there, kasi you can't really spread your time and resources to everyone. Sa totoo lang, in every single company, there's a few superstars that you prioritize in
mm,
terms of mentoring and in terms of like teaching, learning. What are the common factors that would make a person be one of those superstars that a usual business leader would pick to say na, itong tao na to mukhang may pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Kasi everyone starts off the same. Everyone goes to
yeah,
college, graduate, they start working. But sometimes you meet people na has something special. What
yeah.
in your 20, almost 30 years of
Yeah.
experience, is there
Okay.
a commonality to to these people?
Well, the actually the link between the lower ranks and you being the CEO are actually your executives and middle managers, no? So
Correct.
how you imbibe upon your generals, the culture
Mm,
that you want to enable in your company, it is
mm,
cascaded downwards, no? So ibig sabihin,
mm,
it is actually in the ripple effect, no, it reaches to the
mm,
lower ranks. And you have to have that approach of not playing favoritisms or playing favorites, no?
mm,
So what I'm talking about is that the culture, when you empower the
mm,
right people, your superstars, they bring it down the line. Eh. So whatever
mm,
form of discipline that you actually teach, no, and imbibe upon your key players,
mm,
it will be
mm,
cascaded down the line. Syempre, you have different departments. There are different
mm,
dynamics when you talk about different managers, but you have to have that common approach in terms of, the discipline aspect, the trust
mm,
aspect, trust and integrity, and of course, building a happy place to work with, happy
mm,
place to work for. So it's
mm,
cascaded down the line. And then, of course, when these people, when the ripple reaches them, then they aspire for greater heights in your organization, and
mm,
then they
mm,
deliver correspondingly.
mm,
They reciprocate if you do good downwards, then it will be reciprocated upwards as well. So that's how I've done it, no? Over the years that I've been a businessman. Because of course, probably my experience in customer service, being a service crew for several years, and also
mm,
being an HR practitioner, which complemented, of course, my skill set in understanding people and my skill set in terms of imbibing, you know, di ba sa atin, sa sa fast food, quality, service, cleanliness, and value to people, di ba?
Mm.
Value to customers. But of course, not setting aside the honesty and integrity. It's always together, all together. So that has to be shared down the line to your managers or executives, and then the ripple effect is thrown down and it is reciprocated backwards to you. So that is how I see it. No, I may be opinionated in terms of my companies, but then again, I consider it as one of the success formulas insofar as how I was able to, build my business and traverse to where it is right now over the 30 years, almost 30 or 25 years, no, being an entrepreneur po. And of course,
Mm.
a loving, a passionate HR for that
Mm.
matter. I
I
like to plug that in, no? Kasi HR practitioner talaga is, that's me and it's a passion that I have, no, for the longest period of time in terms of my career life po.
I have to add something lang that you've mentioned. I think many Filipinos nahihiya lumabas or magpabida. And I think it's really difficult in a big company to be noticed if
Mm,
you're always trying to downplay your talents, which
mm,
so many of us like to do. Yung pa-humble effect ba? Kasi here in the Philippines, bawal din kasi yung masyadong mayabang.
yeah,
Pero 'pag hindi tahimik ka lang, hindi ka talaga napapansin ng management. I think a big
yeah,
problem with many of us is that we wait to be noticed and then
yeah,
feel resentment if we don't if people don't pay attention to us. Tapos maaasar
yeah.
tayo, "Eh, bakit siya ang ingay-ingay niya? Tapos 'di naman siya magaling pero siya napo-promote. Whereas ako magaling ako pero hindi ako nakikita." Right? Like
Minsan man perceptual yan, perceptual sa tao. That's how we
mm,
see things. But in terms of understanding how to manage Pinoys kasi, you know, if you
mm,
have come across the book of Lando Hocano, yung management of Filipinos. Kasi meron tayong certain behaviors, yan yung hiya, 'di ba? Andiyan
yeah,
yung mga aspeto na parang yung lack of assertiveness.
mm,
So, ibig sabihin that defeats yung that would defeat kasi on how they would be able to grow in the organization. But I agree with you, no? It's very rare that you get to see people who would, yung sinasabi natin
ano,
advance to be recognized principle. It's very rare in the Philippines. But then
yung
again, the
pabida.
performance, the outcomes, and the output would speak for itself. Makikita mo naman yun if you have a sound performance management system. Because if you put KPIs,
Yeah,
then you get to see this. It's not all about how good you speak, eh. It's how good you deliver the things that is expected of you in reference to, the job that you handle. So
mhm,
it's all together. We cannot sectionalize one component from the other. It has to be a concoction of all the several elements put together po.
mm. I'd like to add
So,
lang to that kasi
po.
I
Sige
think
po.
so many 'di ba parang there's what you call the top 3 universities that the graduates
Mhm.
are always asking for higher salaries, 'di ba? Way above
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to like look at the overconfidence that they have. And then
Yeah.
we talk badly and say, bakit ang tatapang naman sila? Wala naman silang alam eh. And having come from those, it's kind of true. People from PUP, RTU, and all the other universities technically have way more solid foundation
Yeah.
than, let's assume, for example, Ateneo from which I'm from. But ang mga Atenista mayabang, ang laging pabida. And you kind of
Yeah.
wonder, pag management trainee, mas
Yeah.
napipili sila.
Yeah.
Mas maingay, mas napipili, pero sa totoo lang, in terms of galing, minsan
Yeah. Mas
pabola.
may depth yung isa. Breeding yan,
Oo
sir, ma'am, eh.
naman,
Breeding. Oo.
malayo. And I think there's a
Oo.
little bit of a lesson there when you build a
Mm.
career, is
Yeah.
that sometimes you also need to market yourself. Because we
Yeah.
love to market ourselves in the group. Kung
Correct, correct,
ikaw
correct.
na yung groupmate, ikaw yung group leader, wala na kang ginawa yung iba, and people are ikaw yung karamihan ng gumawa ng project mo, kasi you have to finish within the deadline. Tapos 'pag pinuri yung project niyo, sasabihin niya, "Ay, group effort 'yan."
I'll
When
share
in
you an
fact,
insight,
hindi
ma'am, no?
naman group.
Oo,
Oo, ikaw karamihan ikaw,
oo.
'di ba?
I'll share
Hmm,
you an insight, ma'am. I do consulting to large companies, no? They always, of course, the large companies or corporations would have the tendency to look at the credentials, no? What I challenge them in terms of decision making is this. I tell them, ma'am,
hmm,
you have the choice, no? Would you rather have someone who has that academic credentials, or you would opt
Mm,
for someone with experiential wisdom? And that is what I offer
mm,
to them. Experiential wisdom. Over the years that I've been doing consulting work, I don't have the MBA, PhD, or whatever alphabet beside my name. But I carry with me is actually the experiential wisdom over the years that I've been in HR and implementing several HR projects. So that is what I offer to them, and that is what I present to them. There are some wins, but there are some losses because you can't win them all. But of course,
mm.
it is always a mindset in the marketplace that when one possesses the accolades, the tendency is that there is a biased decision already favoring them. But for my end, like ako, hindi ako blue chip graduate. Di ba? I came from a private school beside Ateneo, which I'm proud of, no? I am a kick out of University of Santo Tomas, and then I jumped to PSB, and then, you know, I made something for myself through the experiences probably that I've gained over the years of work that I have actually put into my career. That's why this wisdom that I've shared actually is partially about 80% is my life. So, it's something that is, factual in nature. It is something that has happened and transpired in the course of my life as an employee, and eventually becoming a businessman po. So
Sir, what
again,
are your thoughts? Mm.
sige, go
What are
ahead, ma'am.
your thoughts of people who commit awol? Kasi sa Philippines, napakarami ang nag-aawol. And let's just reference yung sinabi ni Miss Jel. Na-remember ko tuloy yung employee na hindi tinapos ng 30 days. Tapos may tumawag na HR para mag-background check. E di sinabi ko tuloy yung totoo na nag-awol and yung work reports and attitude niya na hindi maganda. Sometimes dito lang tayo nakakabawi. Now the question is, Sir Froy, if alam naman natin yung realities ng AWOL, bakit ang dami pa ring tao na gumagawa? Even from higher levels, hindi lang yung mga rank and file.
Uh,
Why do you think that's the case, 'di ba?
well, it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly, the reasons behind, because of course every decision is premised on the mindset of the person quitting. But
Right.
there are generations and ages wherein they don't already believe in a 30-day notice. They will say
Mm,
yes, but then again, meron uso sa company ko, iwan cellphone, iwan laptop, and then they disappear. I hired several people, about six, in 2023. No? Lahat yan nag-resign. Wala naging regular because of that mindset for a certain generation, no? That they just quit. If they don't see what
mm,
they want, then they just quit.
mm,
On, of
mm,
course, higher level, baka naman they're being pressured by other employers that want them to join and be onboarded quickly,
mm,
setting aside the professional aspect. Tayo naman as employers, we can invoke the law. But what's the point? We cannot turn it around. So it's better to look at it, learn from it, let it go. So again, if you talk of asking me, ma'am, my insight on why are they like that, it's because of their own discretion yan. We can
mm,
only focus on what we can control and manage. But
mm,
from them,
mm,
syempre, what we can control and manage is actually the activities when they leave, di ba? Yung BCPs natin has to be put in perspective. When they leave, syempre, wala na akong magagawa. If a person decides to leave, definitely they will. And then when
mm,
they leave, then somebody calls you, this the truth will set you free. Sabi mo, he left. We did not provide a notice period. He did not comply
mm,
with the turnover requirement of the company. 'Di ba? But of course, these are things that has to be situational in nature, no? So siyempre kung mabait naman, sabihin mo lang, okay naman yan, hindi lang nag-render ng 30 days. But it brings a bad taste in the mouth, ma'am, 'di ba?
Ah,
Magaling naman, may pero lang. But then again, siyempre yung absence of professionalism sometimes tarnishes already the credibility of a person leaving your organization, jumping to the next. Kaya,
yeah.
again, going back to your question, hindi natin makokontrol yung isip niya. We can only control what we can do best for our company. We have to protect the best interest of our organization. What we can do is to apply lang yung mga BCPs natin. And then when the right time comes, when a ref check company would call, or even the employer that he would enter and join, no? Hindi sabihin mo yung totoo. It's not
Mm,
bad to say the truth. Because the truth, sabi nga nila, will set you free. It's not discrediting.
mm.
It's more really of being an honest person that was actually victimized by this particular employee who resigned without rendering the 30-day notice.
Mm.
Oh, that's
I
my
think
take
what
on that.
you've mentioned, which I'd like to highlight repeatedly, is you have to be professional. I think
Yeah,
the word being professional is now
yeah,
downplayed because now it's all about what the employee wants at that given point in time. But there was a
oh,
time and age where employees were, it was highlighted, it was taught in school that you have to
yeah,
be professional, you have to keep your word. And so
I-
I've noticed that there's a little bit of disconnect sa mga younger
yeah,
people versus the older ones. Kasi it was unheard of na hindi ka mag-render.
oo.
Alam mo yon na no, mawawala ka lang na magdi-disappear. And then later on, pag magba-background check, magugulat ka, magagalit ka kung may nasabi sa'yo. Right? When in fact, sa
Evolution yata yan, ma'am, eh. Evolution already of
it's
the
a
types of
learning
people, 'di ba?
thing. No, but remember
Oo,
before when we were in college, there was really a course before you graduate, even in high school, about how to make your resume, how to like
mm,
work,
mm.
parang yung work ethics ba, and how to be more
Correct.
professional that I think they removed over the last couple of years eh. Yung
And
values and
yeah,
education.
and also the integrity aspect, ma'am, eh. You
Yeah,
lose the
there
integrity
was a course
aspect
that
when you
they
do that,
removed
eh,
eh.
oo,
There was a
oo.
change in the curriculum talaga. And I think if people were a little bit more professional, they'd be more
Yeah,
successful.
yeah. I agree as well, I agree as well, ma'am. It also contributes to, being successful anywhere you go. Even it is connected and hints to what Coach D has mentioned about networking, eh. Kasi
Yeah.
siyempre may
You've
re
done
may effect din 'yan, eh.
yeah. You've done three hats. You were an employee, you were a consultant, meaning to say freelancer, and you
Yep,
were also a business owner. Three different hats that everybody seems to fall upon, right?
yeah.
What's your advice to a person who is a rank and file employee who aspires to be a consultant and get higher pay and work less and be a business owner who seemingly seems to earn more and orders people around? Like, could you actually give them your side? Kasi syempre from, hindi pa nila
Yeah,
nadaanan,
yeah,
akala
yeah.
nila madali, right? Could you share your real life experience having gone through that process
There are
para at
actually
least
chapters in our lives, ma'am, eh. May chapters 'yan, eh.
mm,
And each time we
mm,
begin a chapter, we have that actually short-term vision. So in my
right.
case, when I entered in HR or first sa service crew, you know, my short-term vision was actually to become a manager of a store. But
Mm,
eventually, when I fell into a position of HR, then it changes, no, the dynamics of how I
mm,
see my vision to be. So my next vision was to become a
mm,
department head of my my of HR, no, which I was able
okay.
to attain, 'di ba?
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
moving forward, this is a true to life story, no. I am
Correct, yes.
an accidental businessman, eh. So I got cut
Mm,
from
mm,
the software company because
mm,
I was a victim of corporate politics. So the new country manager, came on board, and the old one was removed. The former country HR manager that hired me was actually eased out, and then a new one came on board, and then he brought in her troops, and then I was eased out. So when I was eased out, then I have to be resourceful. So I became a consultant. How to become a successful consultant is, of course, the credibility that you possess. Now, people will trust you if you have that credibility. Again, it is hinged on the networks that you have created in the past over the years of your employment being in HR. So there were actually people that offers me consulting work. It may be recruitment consulting, it can be process consulting, it can be development consulting. So all these things, what dictated my success being a consultant is because of the credibility that I made. And then when I was able to establish this credibility, I explored venturing further into setting up a formal operations into the headhunting realm. So I took advantage of that exposure in consulting and enabled a business, no? Because it already has brought me some level of confidence, eh. May extra money, merong extra puhunan, venture ako, I set up formally yung aking headhunting, and then it kicked off. So again, what dictated that is of course the credibility and the service that I've extended to my previous clients. Sila na yung mga first clients mo eh. And then, moving forward, what made my operations bigger is that, of course, I replicated myself. I train people, no, because I know that I can sell. Then I have to tell these people that they should be, they can sell as well. I taught them the tools of the trade, no, and also I brought in my wife because of asking her, no, let's not let you just make our company rich rather than working for someone else and making that company rich. So she joined me, and then I started my agency staffing. We started with two, mama, isang receptionist at saka isang visual basic programmer. And then the rest was history. So to the questions, three hats. Number one is, of course, syempre you have to understand, no, how to build your career. Syempre pagka, if you have found a job that is appropriate to your passion, you just work, work, work. Be resilient. Always have that perspective of building your skills and knowledge, and of course, having the right attitude. Nag-shift ako when I was given an opportunity in HR, and I applied the same principle. That's why I was able to grow, because the trust was there. Eh. I was able to grow. No, I was able to grow as an HR practitioner, starting as a recruitment assistant to a personal supervisor to an HR officer, and then eventually a manager, and being exposed to all facets. That's why I'm a generalist. Eh. You talk about HR, I almost know a bit of everything, no, even to the OD aspect. And then from that point, syempre, I stumbled on one part of my career. I reached the highest, no, which is becoming a country HR manager for the software company. But of course, natalisod ako eh. And I had to fend for myself because, I was married with one daughter. And then, syempre, I had to, do something about it and make myself productive. I applied to several companies. I was taken in, but they did not give me the same salary with the one that was offered to me by the software company. So until all the offers dwindled, then I had to had to work for myself by becoming a consultant because it paid off better. And then again, when the confidence was there, okay, I'd like to become a businessman. When I took over the hat of being an entrepreneur, I again visualized of what I can become in the next so many number of years. And that's the story of my life. As an HR practitioner, as an employee, and as an HR, as a businessman po. I hope
Real
I
talk
was able to
tayo,
share some
sir.
wisdom. Yes po, thank you very much, ma'am.
So many HRs want to start their own
Yeah,
business. Real talk, diba? And
yeah,
during the pandemic, so many people ventured into gigs like
yeah.
baking, sewing, usually like home things while they were
Mm,
home based. Could
yeah,
you, but a lot of them, when they do it, when they resign and then they do it full time, they lose money. They get into
yeah.
debt, right? And then parang they feel a little bit of regret that they've left a cushy job that guaranteed them a salary and paid for all
Yeah,
their vacation leaves. And by jumping into a business wherein parang nabaon sila sa utang, parang maling move
yeah.
yun. Yeah, we're talking about ways to build a successful career. I mean, you've
Uh,
done all three.
I'd like
What
to
makes a
I'd like
difference?
I'd like to point out something, no, 'di ba sabi ko, enter into a profession that you love doing. It's all about passion. Sometimes we lose sight of what we already have as credentials. Eh. I'll
Hmm.
share a chapter in my life, ma'am. When I
Hmm.
jumped into headhunting, prior to that, ma'am, I set up a car wash
Yes,
and a
correct.
car shop, an auto shop.
Hmm.
But it
Hmm.
was not actually my passion. I love cars, but it was not my
Hmm.
passion. And then eventually I discovered that indeed it was HR that I really
Hmm.
loved. So from when my money got drained, being a car wash operator and a talyer operator,
Hmm.
I went back na do sa headhunting, which I started thereafter, di ba? And then
Hmm.
that boom, because ang sarap pala mag-recruit. Magre-recruit ka, interviewin mo, and in the
Hmm.
next
Hmm.
30, 60 days, you get to be paid 100,000, 200,000.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
sabi ko, this is something better than
Not
washing
bad.
cars.
Hmm.
Di ba? And then yung
Hmm.
extra money that I was able to build, no, because of the recruitment activities and the headhunting activities that I was able to do, nilagay ko yun doon sa aking agency staffing. And that actually kicked off things for me, especially when my wife joined me because she was able to help me in terms of setting up the foundations of administrative operations. But in terms
Mm.
of HR, lahat ng processes, HR network, service contracting, headhunting, all the facets in my business, I was the one who set it up. It's only that my wife actually complemented it because of her skills in admin, no? Especially on
Mm.
handling money. So I think one of the key components how to get rich is to make sure that you give all your money to your wife.
Mm.
It's a success formula that I consider because siyempre, ang tendency ko is to be frugal eh. Ang tendency
Mm.
naman nung wife ko is to ensure that we have enough money to sustain our activities. And dun sa
Mm.
question mo, I think no, it's hinged on when you enter into a business, make sure that this is your passion. We have
Mm.
we have primary and secondary passions. Eh. So,
Mm.
passion ko HR. Second passion ko, maybe another thing, cooking or yan, car exchange. Mahilig ako sa kotse eh. Di ba? But then again, for these people who are listening right now, you have to make sure that you have to discover that passion because when you establish that passion beyond HR or aligned to HR, di ba, it will definitely prosper.
Mm.
Ang iniisip lang kasi natin ma'am, ang fear kasi is lagi yung we cannot
Mm.
cross the Rubicon of
Mm.
course, assured income. They have to hurdle this by way of being open to what you call variable pay. At one
Mm.
period of time, you would earn 1, 2, 300,000 eh. But at one
Mm.
period of time, you will only earn 50 to 60. So how do you
Mm.
manage that? It's up to them because I will not be able to
Mm.
handle that, no? But you talk of coaching, maybe I can help them. I can coach. We can do that, the coaching, mentoring, maybe how to become a successful HR businessman. Can be anything, just like yourself, ma'am. You have a lot of wisdom in terms of running operations, eh. But the
Mm.
key element of the way I look at it is the key element of your success is actually your competency and skills and of course wisdom in terms of human resource management. Remember, in
Mm.
every business, there's always a component of human resources, and you cannot take
Mm.
away that. And when you have
Mm.
that competency, I'm gonna guarantee you, ma'am, 100% your business
Mm.
will succeed. Wag lang silang magastos. If you spend beyond your earning capacities as a businessman, then there's something wrong. Definitely, you will not earn the revenue that you aspire for.
I think you've made some few points. The first
Yeah,
one is parang yun nga yung passion nyo. A lot of you have to be realistic also with your passion kasi minsan kasi they want to do cars or they
yeah,
want to do a hobby. Pero yung
mm,
pala when the heat is too hot, then they give up. It's very hard
yeah,
kasi to do something that you give up halfway, right? Kasi parang if you're
yeah.
not gonna continue, then don't do it at all. Just retain the safety net that you wanted before. You emphasize having a good partner. When you want to do business, somebody to manage your finances is very important. Kasi ibang tao ang galing-galing nila mag-sales. Pero yung
Yeah.
kumukuha ng pera sa kaha, nanakawan sila 'pag hindi mo
Yeah.
babantayan. Real
Correct,
talk.
correct.
Kahit
Yeah,
sinong
yeah,
i-hire mo na mabait, na
yeah,
naawa ka, matagal na sa'yo, 'pag pinahawak mo talaga ng pera ta's di mo binibilang yung pera,
yeah,
sigurado nanakawan ka nun, right? So you have to either find somebody trustworthy to handle that part. It cannot just be ideas, it has to be administrative as well. You've
yeah,
mentioned about 'di ba yung when doing business talaga, it's not that easy. Capital is very important. When a business runs out of cash, it's the same as a car running out of gas.
yeah.
The
Agree,
business will
agree.
stop. I've had so many companies that I've dealt with lately,
Uh-huh.
and they're selling a lot of their properties now, this year, 2023, because the
Uh-uh, uh-uh.
interest rates have increased this year.
Yeah,
Dati kasi 0% tayo, ngayon mga pagbibili ka ng bahay, mga 8, 9, 10%. Variable
yeah,
yung loans nila to build up their business. Because of that, they are forced to sell their assets to keep the company afloat. Because if they miss one payment, all the work that
yeah,
they've
yeah,
done over the last few years all
eaten up by
crumble.
the penalty charges.
Wala,
It
if
will
the
be,
bank gets the money, you have to declare bankruptcy. Walang, ay, next 2 months
mm,
na lang ako magbabayad. Walang ganun eh. Capital is very important when it comes to
yeah,
business. And I think a lot of people forget that because they think na, oh, 'pag nagtatrabaho ako sa company ko, Parang I'm working to make somebody else rich. But you have to understand, you don't release any capital. Any
Yeah.
of your capital. You're just releasing your time and your effort. But the hardest thing to release is capital when you don't have any.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't talk about it, right? Cash
Yeah.
is king when it comes to business. Kung wala kang pera, paano ka magnenegosyo, 'di ba?
Yeah. I think, I think this opens up an angle where we can probably coach those aspirants into becoming
Mm,
successful HR consultants. They need to be coached somehow, no? And then, I would be more than happy, just like yourself. This is a passion for us. I mean, I will do it for free. Kasi syempre, we
mm,
have to somehow help our, of course, brethren, no? The HR brethren, so to speak. We have to help them somehow succeed also in their aspirations. Kasi there's always an opportunity for every person to become successful businessman. It's just a matter of breaks and probably, having the right frame of mind. And I think this is where we come in to the picture, ma'am, ano, no,
mm,
Coach Tina, no. It's because, syempre, we already have that wisdom. Eh. We've gone through a lot. And,
mm,
giving them something that we have already gained out of the wisdom and experience that we have actually gone through in
mm.
our respective lives, no? From an employee into becoming successful businessman. I think we have to pass on, di ba? We have to actually give back. Consider it as a
Mm.
corporate social responsibility. And I would like to invite everyone, no? Probably if those who are interested HR people, no, that would like to become HR entrepreneurs, then let's talk about it. And down the line we can plan on this, no. And I think it would really be something welcome for everyone as well. We have actually mentioned a lot about already, no, on how to become successful in our careers. There's always a next chapter there. There's always a next chapter. And I
We've
would like
talked
to pass
about
on that thought as
mm,
well. Oh.
we've talked about passion, attitude, being professional, but I think one of the things that we didn't talk about before we end is the discipline and hard work, which we've talked about at the end of your presentation.
Yeah.
So many people talk about the beginning, they don't talk about the discipline, self-control, and
Yeah,
sacrifices that they've had
yeah,
to go through to get where they
yeah,
are now. Could you share with
correct.
us some of your experiences? Kasi I think that needs to be said eh. Kasi people
Yeah.
see you, 2,000 people, 600 people ang yaman na ni Sir Fry. But maybe they don't understand the pain.
Yeah,
'Di
yeah.
ba? Like, could you share
Oo.
with us?
Well, discipline for me is always a key, because of course it dictates control and restraint as I shared earlier, no. So
Mm,
siyempre, the discipline is the enabler. Eh. It is something that would help us move forward, no. If you don't have the right discipline, tendency is there are a lot of temptations, no. Like for example, simply said, no, you are a moneyed person, a man, no, of a certain level of stature, you have plenty of money. Maraming temptations diyan, ma'am. Women, vices, et cetera.
mm,
And these
mm,
are factors that would actually pull you away from the
mm,
success journey that you already have. You have to have that right discernment in terms of choosing your path.
mm, mm,
Otherwise, 'di ba? This is a basic measure or test of discipline, eh.
mm,
The absence of discipline will not bring you anywhere. The absence of discipline will not enable the success you aspire for. Saan ka nakakita
mm,
ng basic lang, ma'am. Gusto mong umangat sa puwesto, 'di
mm,
ba? Attendance policy hindi mo masunod. 'Di ba that is
mm,
already a violation of discipline?
mm,
In my principle in life, you know, uh, as a businessman, it is
mm,
always best to be early by 1 hour than to be late by 1 minute. That is already a
mm,
significant line indicating the level
mm,
of discipline that you should possess. In the same manner, when you are in a company, may attendance policy,
mm,
'di ba? May uniform policy, may policy on no smoking, may policy on, you are not allowed to do this or that. We
mm,
have a code of discipline. Those are things that you have to put in mind that would actually help you develop yung discipline aspect. Ang pinaka-basic na test ng discipline, ma'am, remember this, is of course yung attendance.
mm,
'Di ba? Kasi
mm,
when you fail that aspect, remember as
mm,
early as 6 years old, We are being taught to
Mm.
wake up early so that we will not be late in school. And
Mhm.
this is a key thing that they have to understand. Sometimes they set this aside because this is a minor offense. But remember, this minor offense would already be considered as a reflection of your discipline level.
Mm.
How can you discipline yourself? How can you say that you are disciplined if a simple rule you cannot follow? What if a
Mm.
more complex rule is presented to you? Do you think you would be able to follow? Di ba?
Mm.
Definitely not. How you do anything is how you do everything. And
Mm.
that is the rule of my life. And that is why probably I've gone this far because I believe that, these are key elements that will actually help you build your credibility. And when you talk of credibility, it is still hinged on discipline. You cannot
Mm.
enable credibility in your profession if you do not have that discipline eh. Ano yon?
Mm.
Yung siyempre yung discipline mo in terms of dealing with the SLA
Mm.
that you commit to your client. The
Mm.
failure of such already defeats the discipline
Mm.
exercise. Diba? So again, going back to, yung aking wisdom on what I can share to everyone in terms of discipline. Diba? You should be able to understand how to comply with the simplest form of rule. If you cannot follow a very simple rule, then you will not be able to follow a more complex rule. And I think they have to bring that into their hearts and minds because, madaling, di ba? Madaling sabihin, papasok ako. Madaling sabihin, hindi ako malilate. But the reality of things, di ba? You will see it sa attendance policy. And I think they have to understand. We're talking here, ma'am, no, of being an employee, how to become a successful career person. If you are a businessman, the complexity becomes higher. The discipline requisite becomes higher. They have
Mm.
to understand. But, we will have to parang carry them leading towards the career success and enable yung next chapter of being an entrepreneur. So it's going to be a
Mm.
chapter by chapter process. But the basic thing, the ingredient that they need to understand is to, of course, put in their hearts and minds. In particular, sa heart na, yung discipline component na. So,
You're
yun po,
correct.
it's
Mm.
something that you have, I'm sure 100% you have imbibed upon yourself even.
Mm.
And that's the reason why you are also successful. No doubt about that. Ma'am. I know for sure, di ba?
I'd like to
And in
share
the same
something
manner that
lang.
we pass it on
Mm.
to our children, di ba?
Mm. I'd
Mm.
like to share something na when I was in college, 'di ba there was this OJT opportunity.
Yeah.
Tapos what happened was I actually accepted a job offer with Ramcar, right? Which is
Wow.
a KC and then battery, very very
Yeah, 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 yeah.
decently sized pero private company. Mm.
Yeah. Sa Roses
So I
yan, di
worked
ba? Roses Avenue.
po sa Quezon City.
Yeah.
But the product is so sexy. It's car batteries.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
literally, like sobrang sexy, 'di ba? Napaka-sexy.
Ah,
And so, after I accepted the offer, another company, Shell, offered me an OJT. So aggressively, ang taas pa ng allowance. Kasi Shell at that time was a very good employer. And I
yeah.
remember being, what do you call it? Being torn because I already accepted the job offer with Ramcar and another better offer came up. And
Yeah.
I think that type of struggle is normal to everyone.
Yeah.
Nagbitaw ka na ng salita na gagawin mo, tapos may dumating na mas masilaw pa kung magpapalit ka ba ng party, 'di ba? Kasi mas
Yeah.
maganda sa iba. Do you think about yourself or do you think
Uh,
about your commitment, your word,
yeah.
right? And a lot of people downplay that and say, syempre 'di ba dapat job offer lang naman eh. So, tagapin mo na
Uh,
'yun sa Shell, mag-sorry ka na lang sa Ramcar anyway, you won't work there naman after in the future. Who knows, right? But Shell is a
yeah.
better manok. Go to Shell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so many
Yeah.
people have that, right? Go
Yeah.
for what is better for you,
Yeah.
go for what makes you richer and has more
Yeah.
opportunity. And I remember at that time, after thinking about it for several nights talaga, because I struggled, I actually decided to turn down Shell. And then I actually finished work for Ramcar and finished my OJT in Ramcar. I tell you, it wasn't very exciting to work for Ramcar. Ah. I mean, from a be realistic. If I
Yeah,
work
yeah,
for
yeah,
Shell,
yeah.
if I work for Shell, I'd probably be married young. Alam mo yun? I'd probably
Yeah,
have a more stellar corporate career. But
yeah,
I think it's a good reminder to everyone that you have to be committed to what your word is.
yeah.
When you say
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
it has to mean something eh.
yeah.
A lot of people say,
Y-
eh, kasi pag sinabi ko naman, I can change my mind, right?
Yeah,
But you have to be very conscious that when you say something and when somebody else listens to what you say, there is a promise there that you have to deliver. And if you can deliver, that shows a different person versus somebody who doesn't. It's so easy to break commitments and promises because everybody does that in the Philippines. From employees to business owners to spouses to government officials, right? Like everybody breaks
yeah.
promises left and right.
Mm.
And if you
Y-
are the person who keeps your promise, regardless of age, that's the integrity, Sir Freud, that you've been talking about
Yes,
from the beginning
true.
pa lang. How do
Yep,
people see you? Can they
yeah,
trust you at your word? Pag sinabi mong oo, oo ba talaga or depende until something better comes along?
yeah.
Because it's so hard to build a successful career. Kasi when you build a successful career, parang you need help of other people. You need to be likable. You need to
Yeah.
be trusted, right? Because when people give you opportunities, they're betting on you, right? They're
Agree,
actually
agree.
they're endorsing you to some organization or to a system. Eh. That they're
Correct, correct.
telling their boss this guy is better than the other guy because there's always the other guy that you're competing with, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah, yeah.
only thing that would make you more successful, like more likely to be picked, is if you're that guy na hindi ka mapapahiya pag in-endorse ka.
Correct, correct.
'Di ba? Kasi,
I think, the integrity aspect talaga actually, once that is
yeah,
actually established, no, anywhere you go, eh,
but
anywhere you go. And
it's
I
set
think, no,
eh.
no, yeah, I think, no, hinging it on the storyline that you have mentioned, you are not able to forget that because that already established your integrity as a person.
The
And you
value
bring that
system that
with
you
you, oh, the
carry.
value, yeah. Up to now, it is a storyline that happened in the past that actually presents the true integrity of a person like you, di ba? The truest integrity of what you possess as a person. And that's a value that is actually cannot be
A
taken away from
choice.
you for a lifetime, di
A
ba? You
choice, 'di
made a
ba?
choice, you made a choice at the time of that actually challenge. But then again, di ba? I think you made the right choice because if you, opted for the other lucrative opportunity, then you may not be the entrepreneur that you are right now. You may have not been
Probably
the
I'll be
successful
working
HR
in Shell
wizard, di
as the
ba?
head of HR, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Higher pay, definitely higher pay. For
That's
sure,
why it's
higher
not
pay.
always about money. It's not always about money. It's the true happiness that you actually uh, attain, no, over may several elements yan, eh, material, emotional, spiritual, at saka social. I can talk
Mm,
about that in another time. But then again, di ba? It's not all about money. Di ba? Sabi nga
we're
nila, di ba?
mm,
Uh, family first next to God. Wala namang
mm,
sinabing pera doon. Money is a
mm,
residual effect of hard work. So whatever we enter into in terms of course, the jobs that we do or profession that we are into, the money would come in. Eh. It will just come in, but you have to put in perspective, 'di ba, the
mm,
hard work, the perseverance, 'di ba? 'Di ba?
mm,
Those are the things that would actually magnetize, if I term it right, no?
mm,
Magnetize the monetary aspect of things. And that's what's
mm,
actually bringing us, and that's actually what is actually giving us in terms of opportunities that we already have. No? I
mm,
think, it speaks about, a lot about, parang attracting the good vibes, may it be money or people, 'di ba, or whatever.
mm,
Kasi it's the good
mm,
things that we do and we cascade and impart to
mm,
others. And then the money,
mm,
it comes in. It comes in, no? May
mm,
challenges, but it's not automatic. But it is, I would say, part and parcel of the overall ingredients of how to attract money as well.
mm.
Many more to
Would
share,
you
ma'am. Yeah.
mm, We're almost at the end of our show. It's so
Oo.
entertaining kasi we've reached ang layo na napuntahan din natin tapos bumalik din tayo.
Thank
Do
you,
you
thank you.
have any last words to the audience and also tell them your next project and how to contact you, and I will later on like end the show.
Okay, so my advice to everyone, no, of course, there is no get rich quick or get instant career success. It requires time. You cannot be promoted overnight. You have to,
Mm.
do your best all the time. Be resilient. Have that discipline and have that right attitude, and then you will never go wrong. And that's my solid piece of advice to everyone who wishes to become, of course, top level executives in the companies that they work for. No, we will talk about the entrepreneur aspect when you reach the point wherein you already are an executive in your organization. On the other hand, keep my companies in mind. No, seldom that I
Mm.
post this do sa aking sa PHR group. No, I own a headhunting company and I also own an agency. One is HR Network. That's www.hrnetworkph.com for headhunting and, of course, outsourcing activities. For consulting and, of course, agency staffing for lower level positions, please consider www.polyservefills.com. And, that's Polyserve Philippines. For any training or HR consulting services requirement, keep me in mind. My name is Froilan Florendo. And my number is 0917-539-3358. You can reach me via email via fvflorendo at hrnetworkph.com or fvflorendo at polyservefields.com. So marami pong salamat. Sana kayo'y nasiyan sa aking mga na-share sa araw na ito.
Great. Thank you. When you hear Sir Freud talk, you know and recognize that much of the words that he gave is full of wisdom based on his own experience. As we've mentioned before, he was a rank and file before, starting as a server, and is now a successful entrepreneur, hiring people and giving them jobs. And my takeaways for from his talk on how to build a successful career is number one, you have to have a commitment to yourself to live a life with integrity. It's very difficult to have a quote and unquote career that you can be proud of if you keep on lying, cheating, and stealing all the way through. So many people become successful because they fool somebody else, right? And that happens in school, at work, in government. Like they're successful because somebody else had to suffer. Sir Freud said that you can still be successful without stepping on other people and living a life of integrity. All you have to do is work a little bit harder for it. Be a
Yeah.
little bit more disciplined, sacrifice a little bit more, have work a little bit more, and actually you can still attain it. In other words, wag mag-shortcut. Because
Yeah.
if that's really what you want to be successful, wag mo na i-shortcut para pag matanda ka na, hindi nakakahiya. Kasi, a success of a person can be judged by not by how much money he's made in this lifetime, but on his wake. What will people on his wake say about him? Alam mo yon? Ay,
Agree,
he's
agree,
so
agree
successful,
truly.
ang yaman niya, pero tarantado
Uh,
siya. 'Di ba? Pwede naman ganun eh. Right?
I
I
like
mean,
the
if
word.
you're really being honest, right? And
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, and sa akin lang, live your life in a way that you won't feel embarrassed to listen
Mm,
to what other people will tell each other when you pass away.
yeah.
Number two, I think a good positive attitude is very important. One big flaw of ours is that pag mahilig tayong mapikon when we don't get our way. We're like little kids. When we don't get the way, we stomp, we frown, we let other people see it, right? And we forget that people are looking at us and remember us even after the episode has gone. So if nagdadabog ka and if you act out at a certain point of your career, People will not remember your achievements. They'll remember
Yeah.
the fact that you are magaling, but you're difficult to work with. Or you're
Yeah.
magaling, but you're not reliable. But you're magaling only pag pumasok ka. Right? I mean, may ganuan, right?
Yeah.
There are some people that are magaling, but
Uh,
it's really not reliable. And a lot
yeah.
of people are saying, well, I'm still successful. Why can't I be given the opportunities? Well, it's probably because when people gave you the opportunity, you let them down, right? And if you let them people down, why would they give you a second or third opportunity? You have
Yeah.
to understand when people give you a chance, take that chance.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away and say, ay, di bale, next time na lang hahabol ako. Or next time na lang, parang I'll do better. Why not just do better at the chances that you
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
right? Because people
Actually,
can
do
see it
best, ma'am.
eh.
Do best each opportunity that is presented to you.
Diba?
You have to
Kasi
do it best. Yeah.
people can see, parang feeling ko, parang Mario Brothers, people think they have parang unlimited lives to screw up,
uh, yeah. Yeah.
right? Like in
Yeah.
life, you can screw up, but not too much. Because
Yeah.
it's so difficult for you to, like you work so hard, you step forward in your career, and then you screw up, and then you step backwards, which is fine. Because
Yeah.
people forgive boo-boos, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
especially when you're young, people forgive boo-boos. But
Yeah.
if you're still boo-booing after 20 years in your career,
Ah, different story. It's
that's
a
not a
different story already.
different
Yeah.
story. Actually, 5 years in your career, nagbububu ka pa eh.
Uh,
The problem's not the boo-boo. The problem's
incompetency na yan,
you.
ma'am. Incompetency na.
But we delude,
5 years you
oo.
don't change, then you become incompetent.
Kasi we delude ourselves into thinking there will be a second chance.
Yeah.
I tell you, I know a lot of very successful people because of the nature of the work, okay? And a
Yeah.
lot of them, the difference between the successful and the truly successful, they were given a chance and they didn't screw it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, it takes one decision, the one act of courage
Yeah.
that makes a person ultra successful.
Yeah.
Kasi lahat naman ng tao mabait eh, 'di ba? Ang
Correct.
aso ko
Correct. Correct.
mabait, right? Ang aso ko mabait. Everyone's mabait.
Uh,
Everyone is masarap kasama. Everyone is masipag. What's the difference between that and somebody really, really successful? Is
yeah.
the knowledge that when somebody gives you a chance, you take it. You do
Yeah.
it. And you don't give up because nagkaroon lang ng COVID. Because
Yeah.
you got problems. Because the moment you give up, ang hirap minsan na magkaroon uli ng ganong klaseng opportunity. So sometimes it's harder to hang on even when you're losing money na, and to fight and to pivot and try to make it work. Because
Yeah.
it's in that action of pivoting and trying to make it work that you actually experience a breakthrough that
Yeah.
differentiates you from your competitors. Because so many of our competitors, they closed during the pandemic. Hindi naman mas mahirap sa akin kaysa sa kanila. Lahat mahirap, right? Lahat naghirap. Even the largest companies, lalo na sila, naghirap sila. But
Yeah.
you don't close down just because things get tough, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good parang belief system to have is don't give up,
Yeah.
right? Because if you give up, then it's over. What
Yeah. It
career?
ends there. It ends there.
What career?
When you give up and quit, it
Resign.
ends there. Di ba?
Oo, you can resign. You can
Yeah.
take a break. Diba?
Yeah. Yeah.
Still go back to the dating pool and try again.
Yeah.
Hindi ibig sabihin na nakapag-break na sa'yo, ang tagal-tagal, you experience a setback, yun na yun,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
May second,
Cut.
third, kahit yung mga taong
I
may
love your analogy
ano
yan dyan
na
sa cut meal
eh,
na yan.
'di ba? There's
Yeah.
always there's always
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
more. You can
Yeah.
find love even
Yeah.
in your 60s or 70s or 80s. Basta you just say yes to the
Love
opportunity.
knows no bounds, ma'am. Love knows
Mm.
no bounds.
Sa
Di ba?
parang what you're saying nga is Do your life in a way that there are no regrets.
Yep.
That's true. No matter
Mm.
what, pick the decision wherein you don't regret, na you don't die and say, sana ginawa ko yan. Bakit sana? Gawin mo
Ah,
na, di ba? Sana-sana ka pa, nakakaasar. Right?
regretful yan, sana, di ba? Ibig sabihin, there was
Puro
no
sana
action taken,
eh.
kaya sana.
Oo, sana.
Yeah.
Sana, bad word, bad word. So
Yeah.
I think like I hope that with the HR cafe, I hope everyone is motivated naman na to evaluate. If gusto
Yeah.
mo nang mag-resign kasi kukunin mo na yung 13th month, maybe reevaluate. Make decisions logically,
Yeah.
right? Because you have to think about your job not as a job per se, but as a career.
Mm.
Does this help my
Correct.
career? Where am I really going to go? And plan for that career that you have in your head. Because if you keep on making decisions that are based on your emotions and how you feel today, then it's not a career. It's just you playing around, right?
Yeah.
So I hope that this is an encouragement for everyone. Build a successful career. 4 words, so simple, but actually so deep. Build.
Yeah.
Build. It's not yung parang inherit ha. Build a successful career, right? Work for it.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Try and try until you are able to have a successful career. Para sana in our whatever year, we can invite you then like Sir Froy to share your experience with us so that other people will be inspired and motivated with their careers. And with that, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you once again, Sir Froilan, for being one
Thank
of
you
our
very
guest
much. Thank you very
speakers.
much also. Thank you very much for the opportunity, ma'am. I
And sa
look
mga
forward to
tao,
future invites po.
pakibasa, paki-go back sa replay kasi I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure ang daming wisdom talaga sa sinabi ni Sir Froy. And with that,
Thanks.
thank you everyone. Have a happy
Thanks, everyone.
Sunday.
Thanks. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.